All right, we are back on live, guys. Let's see. Is this working better now? Let's see if it's working. I had to change a couple of things on my end. So, welcome back. We're resuming our severe weather outbreak stream here. So, thank you guys so much for joining. Much appreciated. All right, so looking right now, we still have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect. So, if you guys are in the path of this storm, definitely definitely heed the watches and warnings here across this region. That is for sure. Yeah, please like the live stream. Get as many people back on here as possible. Thank you guys so much. All right, everybody back. All right, let's do this. Let's do this again. Let's try it again. I had to change. What happened was, for some reason, I think that was the issue, is that the bit rate, or what they call the video bit rate, was way higher than it should be, and I think that's why it was freezing. I had to change it. It was at like 6,000 and it needed to be down to 2,500. Okay, so all you tech people out there, if you understand what I'm talking about, hopefully that was the issue. All right, so everybody hear me fine, give me a one. Everybody can't hear me fine, give me a two. All right, and let's get back with it here. So we got a severe thunderstorm watch from southern portions of Missouri, northwestern Arkansas, back across portions of Oklahoma, northwest Texas. This severe thunderstorm watch in the pink shaded color goes in effect here until 11 o'clock this evening. So late this evening across these areas. All right. Again, thank you so much, Ashley, for helping out with modding the chat. Thank you so much. And again, thank you, Lisa, Matt, Tim Key, Daryl, all you guys. Thank you so much for joining back here. Very much appreciated. Thank you. Thank you, Linda. Thanks for joining again. Again, I apologize, guys. Earlier on, it was crazy. Thank you, Marnie. All right, great. Everything's working right. All right, there we go. Let's get it back going here. So let's go back to Northwest Texas here. Again, these storms are starting to erupt very quickly. You got a little bit of a supercell here just to the north of Seymour, and this storm is definitely concerning because, again, right along the dry line here, we have more of just convergence because of the dry line itself, but we have an inflow notch. So this is something to watch. This is a new warning. This isn't for next 20 minutes for southwestern Wilbarger County and northern Baylor County in North Texas. This goes in effect until 7 o'clock here this evening. At 6:32, just about 5-6 minutes ago, a severe thunderstorm was located 9 miles west of Lake Kemp in Texas, moving east-northeast slowly at about 30 miles an hour. Golf ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts is the hazard here, so definitely something to watch out for as we go over the next, say, 20 minutes or thereabout, till 7 o'clock. So Lake Kemp and the Ranchland area in southern Wilbarger and northern Baylor counties into northwest Texas, watch out for this storm. Again, let's look here at the echo tops because this is the top of the thunderstorm. If you guys can imagine what a cumulonimbus cloud is it continues to rise until it can't anymore, and then it kind of fans out toward the top, what we call the anvil of a thunderstorm. And you can see the very top of this storm is very tall. Look at this storm, guys. We're about 45, 47, 48,000 feet tall. So we got almost 50,000 foot tops here on this thunderstorm. So we certainly have a very interesting storm here. Whenever you get thunderstorm tops over about 40,000 feet, that's pretty significant. But when we get to 50,000 foot tops, that's really when it starts to get more significant. So we definitely have to watch out for these storms as they push across portions even of northwest Texas. Again, if you guys are just joining the stream, make sure you like it here. Share the stream here as well on social media. So if you have Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, anything, you guys can share this on any of those platforms to get more people on here if you guys so choose. So thank you so much, guys. Much appreciated. I'm actually going to go on my Twitter page and I'm going to post the link on this. Just give me 1 second here because I want more people to join here. So we need as many people as possible to join. Again, my Twitter, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, you guys can do so down below. So just 1 minute here. All right. Just getting everything ready here on Twitter. We want more people to join, so thank you. If you guys have not yet liked the live stream, please like it. Let's get as many people back as we can. Again, we probably lost some people with the craziness of the technology earlier on, but thankfully it's working again. So we're going to be live throughout the evening for you guys. We're going to be right here tracking severe weather, so we're going to be doing that here throughout the evening. All right. All right. I just posted that to Twitter, so anybody that doesn't have it will have it. Again, if you guys want to post it on your social media, feel free to do so. Definitely helps out in a big way. Much appreciated. So we can get more people on here because we need to warn them about the severe weather. Um, and if you guys on Twitter, can you guys do me a favor here? All right, can you guys do me a favor in just one moment? Go to my Twitter page on hweather420, and can you guys retweet the? Can you guys go retweet the my my link here? All right, so go to my Twitter page right now if you guys haven't already, and can you guys go on Twitter and retweet my tweet about being live so we get more people on here? That would be much appreciated if a few people at least did that, again, so we can get as many people back on here as possible. All right, so thank you. Look at this thunderstorm. Wow, up here towards, let's see, northwest or central portions there of, say, Oklahoma. Look at the tops on this. Wow. All right, so we got 50,000 foot tops here just to the northeast of Shawnee. That's that severe thunderstorm moving through, or that was severe warned at least, up toward the Shawnee region earlier on. Some very strong tops up here with the as you go up in the atmosphere, you have a lot of cooler air, and naturally with the warm air at the surface, warm air wants to rise, and you get a lot of cooler air up there that likes to form clouds, cumulonimbus clouds and stuff like that, and that's how you get the thunderstorms. So that is something we're watching. All right. All right, so let's go back here to live radar analysis again. So we're currently watching the storm down here in towards portions of northwest Texas. This will be approaching the western side of Wichita Falls. Very impressive signature on here with regards to hail. And this storm's already produced a lot of heavy rain. You see right back along the dry line there, this storm has already been producing here, say 2-3 inches, over 3 inches of rain here in just an hour's time. So we've already seen a lot of rainfall with this storm. And again, this is a supercell worth watching here across portions of northwest Texas. And this is something we're going to continue to monitor as it pushes off closer towards at least the Wichita Falls region. This is just west of Wichita Falls in Texas. Hey, forecaster Mia, thanks for joining. Thank you so much, Ashley. You never use Twitter, Marnie? That's all right. Don't worry about it. All right. Peyton, thanks for joining. Lisa, when will it be hitting Tennessee? Tomorrow. Tomorrow will be hitting Tennessee. Depending on where you live in Tennessee, will depend on if you get how severe the storms will be. So let's bring up the outlook for tomorrow real quick for you, since you had a question about Tennessee. Here's the outlook for tomorrow. This is for Friday, March 24th. And if you live in Western or Middle Tennessee, I want you guys to be on high alert. So if you live in, say, like Nashville, Clarksville up here into Jackson, Tennessee, Dyersburg, Memphis, Dixon, Franklin, Tennessee, I want you guys to be on high alert up here, okay? Probably even, the Murfreesboro region, I want you guys to be on high alert because there is a slight to an enhanced risk of severe storms, which means scattered to numerous severe thunderstorms are likely going through the day tomorrow up here in the middle and western Tennessee. This is right along Interstate 40 and getting up toward Interstate 24 there, 69, those interstates, so watch out for that. Again, the farther west and southwest you go in Nashville, so if you're traveling from Nashville to Memphis and then from Memphis, say, down toward Jackson, Mississippi, it's going to be a bumpy ride as we head throughout the evening, especially tomorrow into the overnight hours. Or if you're going from Memphis to Tupelo, you're still in that enhanced risk. And we have to look at the individual hazards tomorrow too. This is what I was trying to get across to you guys when the live stream was not working earlier on. There is a significant hatched area for tornadoes. So if you live in westernmost state of Tennessee here, western Kentucky, extreme southeastern Missouri, eastern portions of Arkansas, north central portions of Louisiana, much of central and western Mississippi, you see these brighter colors, the yellow and reds, that's a 15 to 30% shading for tornadoes. So anywhere in this zone that I'm highlighting here in the white, you want to be on high alert tomorrow for the potential for strong, long track tornadoes. Those are the tornadoes that could be on the ground for a very long time. They could be producing those EF2 to EF5 strength type of tornadoes tomorrow as well, with the supercells out ahead of the main line and the main cold front. And those also could be producing, again, some widespread damaging winds. So that's what that hatched risk. You see these dashed lines. That's what that means. So if you live in Jackson, Mississippi, up there towards Greenville, Vicksburg, Natchez, Tupelo, Mississippi, there on up toward Memphis, Dyersburg, Jackson, Tennessee, Jonesboro, Blytheville, up here in toward Little Rock, Pine Bluff, Hot Springs there in Arkansas, Shreveport, Alexandria, Monroe, getting closer toward just north of Baton Rouge. We have a threat for strong, long track tornadoes. Again, those are the tornadoes that will likely be on the ground the longest and could produce the most damage. Those EF2 to EF5 strength tornadoes, that is what we're watching out for going through the day tomorrow. So if you live in any of those areas, I want you guys to stay on high alert and remain weather aware throughout the day tomorrow, all right? So keep pressing that like button, guys. Let's get back up to around 100 likes on this live stream so we get as many people on here as possible. But you do notice there's still colors farther north and east. So we have the greens and browns here. That's a 2 to 5% shading of tornadoes. So you're still not void of any tornadoes if you live up towards Cincinnati, Louisville, Evansville there, Lexington, Kentucky, Knoxville, Crossville, Tennessee, Chattanooga, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, Huntsville, Clarksville, Tennessee there. You guys are all in the threat for tornadoes. Nashville, 5% chance of tornadoes. Hattiesburg, Baton Rouge, Mobile, all you guys are in at least a slight chance for tornadoes going in toward the day on Friday. This will mainly be overnight into Saturday morning. So here, I'm going to break this down a little bit further for you guys, all right? Just along and west of the line I'm about to draw, and we'll go over the timing here with these storms in just a few minutes, but along and west of this line here, so if you live to the left of this line, across portions of Arkansas, western Tennessee, western Kentucky, southern Illinois, southeastern Missouri, west central portions of Mississippi, East Texas into portions of Louisiana, that is going to be during most of the daytime hours, or at least into the evening hours. If you live east of this line or to the right of the line into middle and eastern Tennessee, central and eastern Kentucky, southern Indiana, southwest Ohio, eastern portions of Mississippi, Alabama, northwestern portions there of Georgia, that is more of an overnight threat and like well after midnight and towards Saturday morning type of threat for severe weather. So you get the big picture here is that it's going to be a nocturnal tornado outbreak, and those are the most dangerous here. Again, that is why we're stressing this so much. And again, I want to stress this enough here that tornadoes are a real threat tomorrow, okay? So we have to watch out for that. We also have to watch out for damaging wind. We have a pretty decent threat for damaging winds. Anywhere in the yellow and red especially, that's where we have the threat of at least 58 mile per hour wind gusts or higher. If you live in the hatched area here, we have the dashed lines up here and towards eastern Arkansas, so from Little Rock to Jonesboro up here, getting into northwestern portions of Mississippi, so from Tupelo on to the north and west, towards Greenville, Mississippi, Memphis, Tennessee, Jackson, Tennessee, up here toward Paducah, Kentucky. Those areas here are the areas most susceptible for hurricane force wind gusts. Those are the wind gusts of 74 miles per hour or stronger up here, and some of these wind gusts could be approaching 80, 90 miles per hour with the strongest of the storms going through the evening hours into the overnight hours on Friday tomorrow. So this is the area of most concern for those hurricane force wind gusts getting up there toward the lower and middle Mississippi Valley region. So we definitely want to be on high alert there. Even if you're farther to the north, so like if you're in southern Illinois, southern Indiana, much of central and western Kentucky, Cincinnati, Lexington, Louisville, Bloomington, Indiana, Evansville, Henryville, all those areas there, you still have a chance of 58 mile per hour wind gusts or stronger, but it's a lower chance here. We're getting a little bit closer to some of that cooler air to the north, the more stable air, but we still have a chance. So we'll watch that here there as well moving forward. You're not a fan of overnight storms, Christy says. Yeah, I know that. That's the thing about overnight storms is that you can't see them coming, and you see the lightning, of course, but you don't want to be running outside and saying, if you have a tornado warning, and you don't want to be running outside and saying, hey, I'm trying to find a tornado. You don't want to be doing that. If you get a tornado warning tomorrow, take shelter, heed the warning, go to a basement storm shelter, put as many walls between you and the outside as possible, because any tornado warning here in general with any severe weather day is dangerous, but especially tomorrow, every tornado warning needs to be taken absolutely seriously, okay? Because any one of those tornadoes could be one of those strong, long track tornadoes that we have to watch out for. So if you have a basement and you have a tornado warning tomorrow or storm shelter, make sure you're wearing shoes, boots, anything like that, because if there is debris afterwards with the aftermath of the storm, you don't want to be walking around on debris with bare feet and socks and stuff like that. So you definitely want to have that along with you as well. If you have bicycle helmets, if you have baseball helmets, football helmets, anything that you can protect your head with, even a mattress will do. That is something that you can kind of use with benefit to you throughout the day tomorrow as well, if you have any of those severe warnings or tornado warnings as well. All right, so you just want to be safe, stay away from windows, all the precautions. You guys know how it is down here in the South. It's severe weather frequently this time of year. This is not a risk you haven't seen before, but it's a risk that's a little bit higher and more upper echelon than you've seen in quite a while. I think there's a chance that this goes upgraded to a high risk, and I'll be talking about this here in just a moment. But I do think there's a threat for large hail as well. So if you live in anywhere in the brown shaded color here or the yellow, especially in the yellow there into Arkansas, western Tennessee, west central Mississippi, Louisiana there, into East Texas, southeast Oklahoma, those are the areas we could see at least 1-inch hail or larger. We could even see some 2-inch hail tomorrow potentially as we go through the day. So we'll continue to watch that. Those are all three modes of severe weather. Now, another type of severe weather we'll have to watch for in the Ohio River Valley. Yeah, you have a lower chance of severe weather, but you have a much higher chance of flash flooding. So kind of going hand in hand here. So if you live along any rivers, creeks, streams, ditches, low-lying areas, you want to be of interest to some of the flooding up here from Cincinnati, Chillicothe, back here towards the Evansville, Louisville region, Lexington, Paducah, southern portions of Missouri. You want to be on high alert for the rainfall threat. We'll get into that a little bit later, but certainly is a threat for some very large hail or some very, widespread flooding across those areas tomorrow. And I'm going to actually show you that now, actually. So here's the threat for flooding tomorrow, guys. So if you live in the yellow shaded color here, that's a slight risk for flash flooding. Scattered flash flooding events are possible. This includes much of West Virginia, southwestern portions of PA there up toward Pittsburgh, back in the middle, western Tennessee there, northwestern portions and northern Alabama, Mississippi, much of Arkansas, northeast Texas, eastern Oklahoma, those areas. If you're in the red shaded color, this is pretty rare, okay? This is right along the Ohio River Valley. So if you live in Chillicothe, Dayton, Cincinnati, Bloomington, Evansville, Louisville up here, Paducah, Kentucky, Carbondale, Illinois, Cape Girardeau, Missouri, getting down even in toward the Jonesboro, Blytheville region, Little Rock. You guys want to be on high alert for widespread flash flooding or at least numerous flash flooding events throughout the day tomorrow as we have some very heavy rain across those areas. So you want to be on high alert for that going in toward the day on Friday, all right? Because we're going to have a lot of heavy rain. And when we go over some of the timing of the storms for tomorrow here shortly, we'll go over how much rainfall you can expect with that. But again, at least 2 to 3 inches in a lot of those areas that I showed you in the yellow and red is on the way. So get ready for that. All right, let's get back to the live radar coverage here for you guys. We're seeing 2 supercells and maybe even a third one trying to develop back here right along the Arkansas-Missouri border. The lead supercell up here towards Highway 60. This is over the Kabul area into southern portions of Missouri. This is going to be approaching the Mountain View region and Winona pretty soon, and also County Road 19. So if you live in these areas, you want to be on high alert. A severe thunderstorm is moving through and in progress. Southeastern Wright County, eastern Douglas County, northern Howell County, and southern Texas County. This is all in south central Missouri until 7:30 Central Time here this evening. Again, heed the warnings here. At 6:24 Central Time, a severe thunderstorm was located 9 miles east of Ava, Missouri, moving due east at 55 miles per hour. So this is chugging along pretty quick here. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and half-dollar size hail is the threat with this storm. So we're going to put a tracker on this for you to get you your bearings on where to expect and when to expect this storm here. And, of course, I pressed the wrong thing. All right, when to expect this storm over the next few minutes or so. So we're going to track this out for you guys. So if you live in Sterling, Missouri, that's in 2 minutes. So anytime now, you're probably already seeing the lightning and the thunder, hearing the thunder and stuff like that. Maybe some raindrops, coming down towards your area there in your neighborhood in Sterling, Missouri. Clear Springs in 11 minutes. Hattie, Missouri in 15 minutes. Turnerville in about 17 minutes. Errol, Missouri in 18 minutes. And then eventually, if it holds on, to the Ratcliffe Ford area and Cardinal Acres region in about 20 to 22 minutes. And that also includes Pinecrest, Missouri. All right, so if you live in those areas, definitely heed the warning there. And this is a pretty impressive storm. Let's look at the echo tops on this storm as well. And you can see that we are seeing those tops here over about, we're seeing those thunderstorm tops here over about 40,000 feet, about 41,000 feet. So you know that there's a chance for some large hail, especially when you see these thunderstorm tops reaching over about 40,000 feet across this region. So definitely want to be on high alert if you live across those areas, all right? We're going to put another tracker on the storm back here to the west of this, another supercell as well, with a warning on it. So if you live in Seymour, down here toward the Mansfield region into southern Missouri, there's a threat for some damaging wind. This is taking on more of a linear mode, so this is probably producing more damaging wind at times and probably even some hail. This is for southern Webster County, southwestern Wright County, northwestern Douglas County, and eastern Christian County. This is all in southwestern portions of Missouri until 7:30 Central Time. At 6:40 Central Time, a severe thunderstorm is located over Sparta, Missouri, or 10 miles east of Ozark. All right, this is moving east northeast at 40 miles an hour. Ping pong ball size hail is the threat here. And again, Ava, Seymour, Sparta, Mansfield, Fordland, Duncan, Diggins, Oldfield, Brunner, all these areas are impacted by this storm. We're going to put a tracker on this as well. So areas impacted and timing. We're going to be doing this for you guys as well here with this storm. So we'll move this up there toward the north and east. So if you live in Cedar Gap, that's in about 9-10 minutes. So Cedar Gap, Missouri, 9-10 minutes. The storm will be in your area with ping pong ball size hail. Mansfield in about 14 minutes. Macomb in 25 minutes. In Norwood in about a half an hour in the Crossroads store area. So if you live in that area in Owens, Missouri, that's about 31 minutes away from your area. So if you live in those areas, get ready. There is a threat for some ping pong ball size hail and potentially some damaging winds on the way as well. Thank you guys so much for all the likes. We're up to 58 likes. I know we haven't had everybody on the live stream like it, so if you guys could please like the live stream, that would be much appreciated. Consider subscribing down below. Hit the notification bell for future live streams and videos. I'll have a new video out for you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. We're going to be focusing mainly on the tornado outbreak tomorrow and not so much the long-range forecast tomorrow. We're going to be focusing on the short term with the severe weather and tornado outbreak in tomorrow's video. So much important for you guys to like it, subscribe it, and also to notify yourself for the video. Again, big thanks to Ashley Leith for modding the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you, Melissa, as well as everybody else for joining. Much appreciated. Curb, thank you. Let's see who. Anybody have any questions for me on the live stream? I definitely can answer it here to the best of my ability. Rain Mave says, I have thunderstorms in the forecast for Saturday, and I'm not even in the risk. Well, Saturday, there's a risk for severe weather. That's farther to the east, so we'll show you that here. Again, this is a couple days out. It will probably change a little bit with the risk for severe storms there on Saturday, but this is the day 3 risk on Saturday. This is mainly across South Carolina, central and southern Georgia, so the Atlanta metro area, down there toward Macon, Georgia, southeastern portions, Alabama, northwest Florida. So down here into, like, say, the Tallahassee, Panama City, Destin, Apalachicola region, those areas, and then on up there into South Carolina. So, like, say, the Greenville region, Columbia, South Carolina, Augusta, those areas here, we're going to be looking at the threat for a marginal severe storms. That's on Saturday. So if you live in South Carolina, Georgia there, into portions of southeast Alabama, northwest Florida panhandle there, we're going to be watching out for the threat for at least marginal severe storms. And this, again, this could expand. This could get upgraded to slight risk or something like that in future days. It's a couple days out, so we'll continue to monitor that. But our highest attention and utmost attention right now is on today and tomorrow. All right, so we're going to continue to watch that. And going back to tomorrow's risk here, I did talk about the high risk potential for tomorrow. I'm kind of sorry about jumping around all the time here, but looking at the risk tomorrow, again, if you live in the yellow, that's actually in the dark green, that's a marginal risk for storms. They will be weakening on a weakening trend into the DFW Metroplex into East Texas. They will re-strengthen to the east towards Tyler, Texas, and Shreveport, western portions of Arkansas through the day tomorrow, and then really pack a punch here across those orange and red shaded colors. If you're in the orange, that's a level 3 of 5, that's an enhanced risk. If you live in the red, that's a level 4 or 5, that's a moderate risk of severe weather here. And that is the highest risk we have tomorrow. All right, so just kind of numbering it for you. The higher the number on here that I'm going to put on the screen, the higher the chances for severe weather. So if you are in the lighter green, that's a 0 of 5. All right, so just a general risk for thunderstorms. If you're in the green here, that's a 1. So if you live in any of those areas, watch out for that. Again, the higher the number, the higher the chance of severe weather. So I'm going to put the numbers on the screen, and you guys can kind of pick out where your general location is for a minute there. So the higher the number, the higher the chance of severe weather. All right. So if you're in the 0, that means there's not a chance of severe weather. There's a 0% chance of severe weather in your area, just general garden variety storms. All right. But we still can see some heavy rainfall, maybe some smaller hail in those green shaded colors from time to time, maybe some pea-size hail, stuff like that. If you live in the 1, that's a marginal risk. Generally, in those risk days, you kind of see more of the 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and the quarter-size hail, nothing too extreme, but still some dangerous weather. In the level 2 of 5, that gets a little bit more extreme. You have more scattered storms, usually 60, 65-mile-per-hour winds on those days, quarter to half-dollar size hail usually, maybe a couple tornadoes in that risk category in the yellow. Now as we go into 3 and 4s, these is where it gets a little bit more serious here, especially tomorrow. In the 3 out of 5, that's an enhanced risk in the orange. That means that numerous severe thunderstorms are likely, and we could also have life-threatening severe weather in the orange tomorrow with strong tornadoes possible, long track. Those are those EF2 to EF5 strength tornadoes. Hail that could be up to 2 inches in diameter, and possibly even some hurricane force wind gusts here on the northern side of this enhanced risk area. So we're talking about you in northeastern Arkansas here, portions of southeast Missouri, getting into western Kentucky, western Tennessee, northern portions of Mississippi. Now a level 4 of 5, that's a moderate risk. That's what we have to watch out for. That is legit a life-threatening, if not a deadly severe weather risk category, just not to sugarcoat it. It's a pretty serious risk. It's not all that common, and we definitely have to take this very seriously if you live in southeastern Arkansas, northeast Louisiana, into west central portions of Mississippi, all right? So we have to take this seriously throughout the day on Friday. Those are the areas most at risk for strong tornadoes. That could be violent long track, those EF2 to EF5 strength, okay? And then again, now going back to what I was talking about with the risk category. So how this could work out, and what, again, I do not work for the Storm Prediction Center. I don't have any train of thought of what they're going to be doing tomorrow. But here's my gut thinking. Just looking through some of the weather models, and we're going to go through those here just in a few minutes after we look at some of these warnings again here in just a moment. I think the moderate risk, there's a chance, again, that this could be pulled a little farther north, something like this, as we go through the day on Friday. So if you are in Memphis, Jackson, Tennessee, up here towards the Tupelo region, be ready. There's a chance that this area here could get filled in with that red shaded color going into tomorrow morning. If that does occur, there's also a small chance that parts of the moderate risk could be upgraded. Now, this won't occur until tomorrow morning or afternoon, until the day of, if it does occur. Okay, so that's a big if, all in capital letters. So if that does occur, I think the high risk will probably be in an area such as like this here. Okay, so if you live in extreme southeastern portions of Arkansas, extreme northeastern Louisiana, or western Mississippi, that would be at the area that we could be seeing maybe a high risk if they did upgrade that into the day tomorrow. Okay, so again, I don't work for the Storm Prediction Center. I can't speak for them and what they do, but I do know that looking at the weather models, that is the area that I would target for a possible high risk upgrade throughout the day tomorrow. Okay, so that is something we're going to watch for. All right. And again, if that is a high risk upgrade, that would be a level 5 of 5. That would be the highest on the scale. And that would be a risk that needs to be taken seriously if that does occur. All right. So we definitely will be monitoring that overnight. Their newest outlook will not come out here for that. We won't see a high risk at least until the 1 a.m. update. That's when they go from day 2 to day 1. So day 1 will be Friday. That'll start at 1 a.m. on their cycle for the outlooks. And we'll look at that tomorrow. And I'll have updates, of course, on my video in the morning, so you guys can check that out. Very interesting. We're going to look at the Synoptic setup right now, too, because what's interesting to me is, let me go back to this here. Okay. That's not the right one. Let me go back to the weather models here. Let's look at the HRRR real quick. This is the what we call hyper rapid refresh model here, and this is a model that updates every single hour and is fairly accurate here in the short term. So this is, something the radar could look like. And very interesting here. We're going to look at temperatures. You can clearly see we have a boundary setting up right across portions of the, in the Missouri Valley here. So if you are in the Ohio Valley, the Missouri Valley, this area here, there is actually a boundary setting up. And we have the battle of the air masses here. So we have the cold or the warm air from the south, and we have the cooler, drier air from the north. And right along that boundary, that's where we have to watch out for not only flash flooding, but this evening, even severe weather. And you can see that all across southeastern and southern Missouri there, we're starting to see more storms firing up. And that is all along that boundary here. Farther to the south, we have more of, say, that dry line pushing through. Okay, so this is another source of lift that's across West Texas. That'll slowly be pushing farther east as a cold front throughout the day tomorrow. And this would be the system that we'll watch with Lee cyclogenesis here. We're going to have a low pressure system, something like that, and that'll be pushing up to the northeast and strengthening throughout the day tomorrow. And as that low pressure strengthens tomorrow, that's important because that will start to drag even warmer temperatures north, make it more unstable here. And we got to look at something called dew points as well. The dew points measure the moisture in the atmosphere. The higher the dew points, the more moisture there is in the atmosphere. So if you look at this here and say, well, what the heck do these colors mean? Well, the darker the color here, like say these teal or blue shaded colors, the more moisture there is. And even down here toward the coastal Texas. So from Corpus Christi to Houston to Galveston, Beaumont, over here to Lake Charles, Louisiana, New Orleans, those are purple areas there. That's where we have dew points in the 70s this evening. So a very juicy air mass across this area. And just look at the Gulf of Mexico as a whole here. I'm going to zoom it out just a little bit for you guys to understand this. Look at all the 70, 75 degree dew points down here in the Gulf of Mexico. This air mass is absolutely boiling right now, and this is just waiting to move north. All we need is a low pressure system that develops, and we need a cold front back here, and that pushes farther to the east, and that's what we have tomorrow. Okay, and that's why we're so concerned about it, because this air mass is ripe. It's ready for severe weather. Not today so much, but tomorrow. So we'll watch that as well. Something else we're going to watch out for is what we call the kinematics. And I know I use a lot of these bigger terms in my videos, and I apologize for that. It's just how I know about it. Other words for kinematics is the wind shear. Okay, so we have a trough out here to the west. You can see the big dip in the jet stream here across portions of the western United States. See the big dip like this? That is important because usually we have a low pressure system here along the base of that trough, and that is the upper level low. That's what we're watching for. And as you guys know, low pressure systems, they move counterclockwise. So you have all that warm, moist air being tossed up towards that trough. And again, that is why it's important, because as this trough starts to eject across the middle of the country tomorrow, it's going to bring that cold pocket of air aloft. It has a lot of cold air back here to the west. And I don't mean to, there we go. We got a lot of cold air back here to the west. It's a cold pocket aloft. I'll put a C for that. And then we have the high pressure system down here across Florida. High pressure systems are clockwise. All right. And again, that's also going to be feeding into this. So there's just a lot of pieces to the puzzle that we have to look at for severe weather, and just kind of gives you general motion. But in between here, this low pressure system, or where I put the C and the high pressure off here to across Florida, there's a lot of wind screaming in out of the southwest in between these here. So that is something that we're watching. And you know what's very kind of relatable to this subject is if you have a garden hose and you put your finger on or your thumb on the end of a garden hose, the water comes out faster, right? When you put your thumb down here on the end of the hose itself, it's the same thing with the atmosphere here. You have the low pressure system off to the west here, the upper level low, that's moving counterclockwise here. All right. And then you got the high pressure system moving clockwise this way. And again, you have kind of that garden hose effect, or what, that's not the actual term for it, but it's kind of like that. When you kind of put your thumb down on the garden hose, it accelerates a lot of these winds farther here, farther to the north and east from the southwest here. So that's kind of what it is with the atmosphere tomorrow. So that's kind of a broadened um, kind of discussion for you guys to understand with the winds, and they're pretty strong. So let's go through the day tomorrow here. And you can see going through the overnight hours tonight, this is 6 a.m., and you see this trough. By the time we get towards 10 a.m. tomorrow, you see how these winds start to get a little bit stronger. So that means that we have a strengthening trough, a strengthening low pressure system, and you see a lot of these pinks and purples and stuff like that. That is more of trying to take more of a negative tilt with that trough across portions of the middle of the country. And usually with a negatively tilted trough, you see a lot more of dangerous weather with this. So that is something to watch out for. Hey, thank you so much, Layla, for the $2 donation. Hello, Weather on the Go fam. Stay safe all. Thank you so much, Layla, for your $2 donation. And thank you very much to Kyle. Thank you as well for your $2 donation. I did not forget about you. Thank you so much. So everybody in the chat, thank Kyle and thank Layla for their $2 donation. Thank you so much. Definitely a little bit goes a long way on this channel. So again, I definitely appreciate it. Thank you so much, Layla and Kyle. Thank you. Thank you, Tsunami Tommy. Just what we need, more high winds. Yeah, well, this time of year it's a lot. The winds are a lot stronger anyway because we're getting into the springtime, and you have a lot of these ups and downs in the temperatures and stuff. So you're going to see a lot more wind during that time frame. All right, now here's another thing we have to look at is what we call the low-level jet tomorrow as well. You see how we have some stronger winds? This is about, say 1,000, 2,000 feet above the surface where we live. This is important because any thunderstorms that get caught in this flow here with this low-level jet is going to be able to interact with this and pull some of these winds down toward near the surface, pull that momentum down towards where we live. So that is why it's very important to look at this going throughout the day tomorrow. And this also will be strengthening as well. And here's another thing we have to look out for is what we call CAPE, or convective available potential energy. You see already at 10 a.m. tomorrow, there's already going to be ample energy down here into the green shaded colors here. And if I put this on here and you can see 1,000 joules per kilogram, a couple hundred joules per kilogram, that's already a good start. 10 a.m. tomorrow, okay? We're talking about evening overnight for severe weather. And I got to go back to the recent run here to the 18Z to look at this. So let's look at that. All right. All right, so going into the afternoon, you see how this energy starts to push farther towards the north here. All right, you see all this energy down here with the greens and yellows starting to push farther north. That's all that CAPE, or convective available potential energy. That's what's needed for thunderstorm development, and that starts to get a little bit brighter into the afternoon hours, peak daytime heating. You see a lot of these yellows showing up, say down here into East Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas. Those are the areas where we're going to see CAPE values up to around 2,000 joules per kilogram, even up to 3,000 in some areas here, getting in towards that 5-6 o'clock time frame tomorrow evening. Early evening, we start to see more oranges down here. Again, that's a lot of energy, and as this cold front pushes farther east into that energy, it's going to be bringing that cold air over top of the warm air, and that's where you get the thunderstorms and the severe weather. So we're going to be watching this very, very closely throughout the day tomorrow. Again, I don't like to bore you with the details of this, but we also have to look at the kind of the atmosphere from the top down, kind of like a birthday cake. You can't have a birthday cake without the frosting, right? Unless I guess you don't like frosting, but that is how that works. So, all right. What else do we have to look at here? There we go. Significant tornado parameter. Now, this is important as well. Look at these values, guys. This is 8 o'clock tomorrow evening. And actually, let's back this up a couple more hours before then. Let's go back to about 4 o'clock. You see how these values start to show up with the grays here and the greens here? Just a moment. There we go. The grays and the greens here. Any value is worth noting because that means any storm that moves into this environment, especially with the brighter the colors, like in these green shaded colors, that is the area that is most concerned for rotation or those supercell thunderstorms. Remember, supercell thunderstorms are the storms that produce the rotation needed for tornado genesis. So that's what we need as we go through the day tomorrow. And again, looking at tomorrow around dinner time, look at how these values go from the greens to the yellows, oranges, reds, pinks, purples, all that stuff down here to the south. That is concerning. So that's why we have the moderate risk like we do down here, and that's why we could possibly have a small chance of an upgrade to a high risk in that area, especially in the tri-state area. So if you live in Louisiana, especially northeast Louisiana, southeast Arkansas, west central portions of Mississippi, I really want you to be careful tomorrow and remain on your toes, remain weather aware, okay? Going into the evening hours, even after dark, look at these values maximize across western Mississippi here. And this is crazy. Look at this, guys. 6 on the scale going all the way to 10. So that means essentially there's a 60% chance of a strong tornado tomorrow by mid-evening across western and northwest Mississippi. 40% chance of strong tornadoes there into portions of western Mississippi. That's essentially what that means. You kind of multiply those values by 10, and that's how you get the chance for strong tornadoes. All right, so that is what we're watching for going in towards tomorrow evening. We need 5 more likes to get to 100, guys. Press that like button. Again, if you guys are just joining, all you guys press the like button so we get all this information out to as many people as possible. I definitely appreciate it. Thank you guys so much. And again, I'll have a new video out for you guys tomorrow. And again, we still have that even into eastern Mississippi tomorrow. So even into the Jackson, Mississippi area, 11 o'clock tomorrow evening, we still have that 1, 2, and 3 on the scale here. So that means a 10 to 30% chance of strong tornadoes even into Jackson, Mississippi, on up there toward the Tupelo region, getting through late evening, toward the midnight time frame. That's tomorrow night. So again, we're going to be watching out for that threat as well. Really want to be on high alert. Excuse me. I have a lot of, excuse me, I got a lot of dry air. Just give me one moment, guys. Sorry about that. I was trying to clear my throat because I a lot of dry air in the room here. Excuse me. Thank you guys so much for being patient with me today. I'll tell you that. Thank you. Sorry guys, I had to clear my throat because there's a lot of dry air in my room, and I had to drink a little bit of water there to clear that out because I've been talking for a while. That's the thing with these live streams is that if you don't have anybody on panel with you guys and talking about severe weather, as tomorrow, actually, if you guys don't know, I want to let you know beforehand, I will be going live with a guy. His name is Pow Ponder on Weather. He's another YouTube channel. I will be going live on his panel tomorrow with the severe weather outbreak that starts at 4 o'clock tomorrow on his live stream. So I'll be there at 4 o'clock tomorrow late afternoon, joining him live. Definitely going to be lots of fun there. I'll be tracking severe weather and keeping you guys ahead of the storms tomorrow on his page. So if you guys want to join me over there, his name is Pow Ponder on Weather. You guys can join there as well. That starts at 4 o'clock. Joe Braxton, what about eastern North Carolina? Well, it looks like on Saturday, that's going to be farther off toward the east here. So let me take this off here. Just kind of put something, all right. Let's go to the severe weather outlook. You said for eastern North Carolina, that's on Saturday. There's a threat across the Carolinas, but right now, primarily across South Carolina there in the darker green shaded colors. So from Columbia down into the Greenville region, into western South Carolina, down through central southern Georgia. So Atlanta down there toward Macon, Georgia, Columbus, Augusta, Georgia, those areas close to Savannah there, and then down into southeastern Alabama, northwestern Florida. Those are the areas at risk for severe weather so far on Saturday. That would be March 25th. All right. That would be March 25th. Right now, North Carolina, you are not under any severe outlooks yet. This could possibly be, like I said, changes could occur, and we could see some of this marginal risk extend a little bit farther to the north. And if that fills in, we'll be letting you know. But right now, it's across South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, and Florida with that threat on Saturday. Just general garden variety type of thunderstorms. And sure, you could have some heavy rain and some, marginally 30, 40 mile per hour winds, marginally gusty winds there, and perhaps even some smaller hail, but nothing too crazy over there right now as expected. But we'll be watching you over there in the Carolina, the Carolinas, especially North South Carolina there on Saturday. You going to be on camera like possibly? It's a possible. Otherwise, I'll just be on audio. But yes, I'll be on his page for sure tomorrow at 4 o'clock in the afternoon Central Time. The link to his YouTube channel, you go onto Google and you just type in Pow Ponder on weather. But I can put his link down in the description here in just a moment. Just 1 second, guys. Here, I'm pasting his page down here. That's his weather page. You can find him there. I pasted it and put it in the chat for you guys. Again, he is a great weather channel as well. So we're just kind of joining together, joining forces, and we're doing severe coverage tomorrow late afternoon and throughout the evening. So there you go, Melissa. You're welcome. You're welcome, Joe. Do I need to be concerned? I live in Jonesboro, Arkansas, 209 East Nettleton. Yes, if you live in Jonesboro, Arkansas, again, here's the risk category for tomorrow. Jonesboro, you guys right now are in an enhanced. Again, I would not be surprised if this moderate risk moves a little bit farther north toward you. All right. So if you live in Jonesboro, Arkansas, you want to definitely be on high alert throughout the day on Friday. All right. And even if you're not in the moderate risk, you still have that significant hatched area for tornadoes here. So here's the tornado risk for Jonesboro, Arkansas on Friday. And you can see you're in that 15 or 10% shading, rather. 10% shading here of significant tornado. So you still have, say, a 10% chance within a 25 to 50 mile radius of your location around Jonesboro, Arkansas, of an EF2 to EF5 strength tornado through the day tomorrow. All right, and that goes all the way north into southeastern Missouri, southwestern Kentucky, and western portions of Tennessee. So hopefully that answers your question, Christopher. Again, thanks, guys. Yeah, thank you for all the likes. Appreciate it. Keep pressing the like button. The more likes, the better, guys. The more people we get on the stream. Thank you. You're welcome, Melissa. You're welcome. Is it windy where I live? Not right now. No, the winds are pretty calm. And again, thank you so much to Layla and Kyle for your $2 donations to the channel. Much appreciated. A little bit goes a long way. If you guys anybody wants to donate, you guys can donate below there. You just click on the link there and you guys can donate. So, of course, you don't have to, but if you would like to donate to the channel, you definitely can. All right, let's get back to the radar here. For right now. See what's going on up here in Missouri. There's a lot of warnings up here in Missouri right now. We still have that pretty decent looking supercell up here. This is progressing farther east. This is approaching County Road 19. So this is getting just north of the Mountain View region. And you see a little bit of blues and pinks and purples up in here. That's probably that hail core that we look for. That is something we're watching going through southeastern Missouri here now. So there's a lot of severe weather right along that boundary I was showing you earlier. And if you live in that area here, we could have a little bit of a hail core showing up, and that's going to be progressing farther east northeastward toward the Centerville region with time if you live there in southern southeastern Missouri. Steven says, could you tell me what you think will happen near Crossett, Arkansas? I sure can, but I'll have to look up where Crossett is. I'm not exactly sure. Let me look. Crossett, Arkansas. Just one moment. Again, I'm from the Midwest. I don't know a lot of these smaller towns, so. Oh, okay. Yeah, you're in the moderate risk. You're in the moderate risk down here. Okay. Into southern portions of Arkansas down here in the Crossett region. So you're right in here. Yeah, you're in that moderate risk tomorrow. Be weather aware, very much so. You could even be upgraded to a high risk tomorrow if you live in the Crossett area, potentially, depending on what the Storm Prediction Center does with the outlook tomorrow. So yeah, there is you are in the highest outlooked area for severe weather in general tomorrow, and quite possibly could see strong tornadoes in and around your area. So do want to be you want to be glued to the weather forecast tomorrow if you live in Crossett there in Arkansas. Hey Drew, how you doing? Good evening. Yeah, this is a pretty nice looking storm here, and we'll put the radar in motion so you guys can see this here. Pretty decent amount of storms moving through. And again, a lot of these severe storms are actually following the same track. So if you get one severe thunderstorm here in southern Missouri, the chances are you'll probably get another one rather soon because there's another one following on its footsteps there. Can you please see what is going to Cape in Missouri? I'm not exactly sure what you're talking about. What is going to happen in Missouri? Is that what you mean? Well, right now in Missouri, there's 4 severe thunderstorm warnings right now over southern Missouri here. This is well southwest of St. Louis and these areas here. So like Branson, Missouri, up here towards the Mountain View region. That's what's going on right now, if that's what you're asking. And this will all turn into heavy rainfall threat. Like if you see north of these warnings, so like Jefferson City, St. Louis, all of this rainfall here, all of this is pushing farther north and east towards the St. Louis metro area. So it's probably very cloudy in St. Louis. You might have some drizzle, some showers here moving through. You got some thunderstorms around St. Louis. All of this heavy rain is going to be pushing into your area rather soon. So it's going to get very soggy, very drenching rain there for portions of Missouri. Looking at this storm down here in extreme northeastern, what's this, Oklahoma? Yeah, all right, extreme northeastern Oklahoma near the Grove region. This is also about to enter into far southwestern portions of Missouri. This will go just south of Joplin toward the Neosho area and toward Cassville, Manette, Aurora, these areas. I wouldn't be surprised if this storm got severe warned as it pushes farther off to the north and east, starting to show again some characteristics here of supercell. Possible rotation and even some hail core starting to develop on this storm as well. David, can you tell me about the Natchez, Mississippi, and Adams County? Yes, you're in a moderate risk tomorrow in Natchez, and you are also in the highest risk for tornadoes, damaging winds, and large hail. So if you live in Natchez, Mississippi, that's another area, just like Crossett, Arkansas. Be glued to the weather tomorrow because dangerous weather is possible, if not likely, through the day tomorrow. All right? You are in the moderate risk, that red shaded color. That also could be an area that could get upgraded to a high risk. So we'll watch you there as well. Yeah, we got a nasty storm here. Again, it's not severe warn, but it's moving just east of Oklahoma City up toward the Okmulgee area. A little bit of an inflow notch to this storm as well. We're going to continue to watch this one. Again, a lot of these have tried to rotate, but that haven't quite rotated, which is some good news. You have inflow moving into the storm like that, and a little bit of an outflow here. So we'll continue to watch that. We got some big hailers down here in the northwest Texas and North Texas. There's 3 severe thunderstorm warnings down here right now. We'll switch the radar site over here. Look at these big hailers down here into Texas, just west of Wichita Falls here, towards Seymour, Texas. Tennis ball size hail with this storm and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. So we are seeing some incredibly big hail with these storms right now. This is just 8 miles southeast of Grayback, Texas. These hailers are moving slow. They're moving east at 25 miles an hour. Tennis ball size hail. That'll do a lot of damage, guys. So be ready for that. That's for Electra, Northeastern Lake Diversion. Yeah, so again, I'll say it again. Electra, Northeastern Lake Diversion, and Northeastern Lake Kemp there into Texas. This is in North Texas. This storm is west of Wichita Falls, and it actually has tennis ball size hail on it. So if you live in Electra, Iowa Park, Burkennett region, get ready for some big, big hail with this storm. Some tennis ball, and possibly even, if this strengthens, maybe baseball size hail pretty soon with this storm is definitely a possibility. So we're really starting to see some big hail. This is well over 2 inches in diameter with this storm. So get ready for that if you live into these areas. Then to the south here, we have another severe warning right on its heels. This is west of Seymour, Texas. This is a storm that was located over southeastern Ford County, northeastern Knox County in North Texas until 8 o'clock is the warning. That's when it expires. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and half dollar size hail is pretty good with that storm. Benjamin, Gilliland, and Vera, Texas. That's the area to watch there. And again, kind of right on the footsteps of that first storm. You'll see a lot of that tonight. A lot of these storms will be moving over the same area, so you get multiple chances for severe weather across the same areas. Because remember, when I showed you the wind earlier on, it's parallel to the boundary. So we're not going to see a lot of eastward movement yet until that cold front starts to move eastward out of west central Texas toward the DFW Metroplex overnight tonight. Farther south here, this is in toward the Hamlin, Haskell regions. We have another warning. This is for southwestern Haskell County, northern Jones County, and east central Fisher County until 8:15 Central Time. This storm was located over the Neenda area, moving northeast at 35 miles per hour. Just kind of a general 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and 1-inch quarter-size hail threat with this storm. All right, so areas impacted by that is the Anson region here at 7:40 in about 9 minutes. This is all Central Time. Ovica or Ovica around 8:05, and then Stamford, Texas around 8:15. So you got a little bit of time, about 45 minutes there if you live in Stamford, if this holds together. So you can see we're starting to see a little bit of this lighting up, and there was a little bit of a concern that this would light up a little sooner. A lot of the models had this not really developing until, say, about after midnight, but some of these storms are starting to pop a little earlier here, so we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens here across portions of Texas. Do you guys want me to put a poll in the chat for you guys? Here, I'm going to put a poll in the chat for you. I've got to ask you a question here. Do you have a basement or storm shelter? That's the poll. All right, so answer that poll question. I want to see how many people have basements or storm shelter, because if you don't, then just press no. Just curious. Yesterday I did the poll, or the other day, and a lot of people didn't have basements, which was or even storm shelters, which was very interesting. So everybody answer that poll there on the live stream. Much appreciated. But yeah, wow, tennis ball size hail. I wonder how tall this storm is. It's crazy. Yeah, about 45,000 feet. So yeah, there you go, about 45,000 feet. So see, whenever you get over about 40,000 feet, that's usually when you start to see those big hailers anywhere really in the United States. That's whenever you see 40,000 foot tops or large or higher up in the atmosphere with storm clouds here. Yeah, that's with those cumulonimbus. That's usually when you start to see the big hailers come out, and that's again tennis ball size hail is that can do a lot of damage, and that's approaching the Red River here pretty soon. Again, this entire area here, we're under a severe thunderstorm watch across southern Missouri, northwestern Arkansas, east central Oklahoma, into northern and northwest Texas until 11 p.m. Central Daylight Time here this evening. All right. Again, just another reminder, if you guys are just joining me on the live stream or have not yet pressed the like button, please press the like button down below. Much appreciated. It helps in getting all this information out to as many people as possible. So if you want to share this on Facebook, this live stream on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, anything, any social media platform, that would be much appreciated if you guys so choose to do that. Thank you so much. So far, we have 20 votes. Everybody vote on the question. I got a question in the poll. Yeah, we got a little bit of a hail core here west of Centerville. Still got that ping pong ball size hail, and it's moving pretty quick. It's moving east at 55 miles an hour. It's located near the Summersville area, or about 13 miles southeast of Houston, Missouri. This is until 8 o'clock. So like Echo Bluff State Park, Current River State Park, Ozark National Scenic Riverways, Eminence, Bunker, Summersville, Alley Spring, Midridge, Round Spring, West Emmons, and Acres, Missouri. Those are the areas to watch out for some of that ping pong ball size hail. And wherever you see the ping pong ball size hail, it's really right in the area where you see the purples and even the blues there. That's going to be crossing over County Road 19 and then eventually up towards County Road 72 there pretty soon. And that'll be crossing in towards the Centerville region, and then eventually, if it holds together, on up there towards the Ironton region into Missouri. This is all in southeastern Missouri. I don't have a basement or storm shelter. The basement would flood because I get hurricanes. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, that's important as well. I see. No shelter, and the public shelter here in McAllister will not allow pets, but we have a really cool turnabout by our there you go. Well, there you go. So you got a little bit of a shelter there. So any way possible, it doesn't matter what you have, as long as it's a sturdy shelter and you can stay safe from a tornado or any debris outside with stronger storms. More power to you. That's a lot of good news. So hopefully you guys can seek shelter. Hopefully you don't have a tornado warning tomorrow or anytime, but if you do, that's good news to have a shelter in place. None of these storms here into northeastern portions of Oklahoma are severe, but they're training over the same areas. Again, this could be a storm to watch if you live in the Okmulgee region as this moves up toward Muskogee, Wagner, the Taluga area there into northeastern portions of Oklahoma. Not a lot of storms in this area earlier on, so a lot of free kind of energy that haven't been used up yet, and the storm's moving directly toward your area. We could be seeing maybe a warning with this storm eventually if it does strengthen, and of course that's why we have that severe thunderstorm watch there. It means conditions are favorable for severe thunderstorms to develop here this evening. And again, the severe thunderstorm watch here in eastern Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas, southern Missouri, and getting in towards North Texas there is until 11 p.m. this evening, Central Time. David says, I don't have a basement. I live in a trailer in Dixie Alley. It's going to be really scary tomorrow. Well, hopefully you can find a shelter if you live there into the Natchez region where you said you lived, because you are in the highest risk for severe storms and you want to have a shelter, whether it's, ask a neighbor, hey, if we have a tornado warning, can we run over your house real quick? Again, you don't want to be, you don't want to be in an area where you're vulnerable to debris or anything, because it's really, really dangerous. And again, hopefully you don't see any strong tornadoes tomorrow in your area or anything, but you definitely want to have a shelter in place type of thing there if you have any tornado warnings issued. All right. There's got to be at least some type of stable structure that you could go into portions of the Natchez region down there. There has to be somewhere. I can't imagine there's not. And yeah, we're looking at these big hailers. If you're in Wichita Falls looking west here, if you can still see the sky outside, it's probably lighting up with a lot of frequent cloud to ground lightning. You're probably seeing maybe some rainfall coming your way there. Back toward Electro, this storm has had a history of potentially producing tennis ball size hail. It has actually weakened a little bit, so that's some good news. But it's still capable there of some ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So that is something to monitor going through the rest of this evening. Again, this will be pushing closer to Wichita Falls and a little bit more of a higher population hub there into Wichita Falls. So we'll watch that for sure. If this moves closer to Wichita Falls, which it looks like it is, we'll be the first to notify you about that here. All right. Put these storms in motion so you can see where it's moving. It looks like the most of this is trying to go northwest or north of Wichita Falls in an area kind of like this, all right, into that area. But the southern side of this may start to move up there toward the Wichita Falls region. So that is something to watch out for. And if nothing else, this could be producing just some, heavy rain or some damaging winds. But the hail core itself right now looks to go up there toward the Burke-Burnett area, and then over there in towards portions of far southwestern Oklahoma. So we'll watch that. Again, keep pressing that like button. Again, just joining, press the like button. Consider subscribing to the channel down below. The like button is the thumbs up button down below the live stream. If you don't know what that is, just press the thumbs up down below the live stream. Much appreciated. Notification bell to get this live stream here and future outbreaks and events that I do on live and videos and stuff like that. So press the thumbs up, press the subscribe button, and the notification bells to get notified. If you guys don't know, we're up to, let's see how many subscribers we're up to on the page now. Thanks to you guys, we're up to 25,466 subscribers now. So we have really grown. Thank you so much. My goal ultimately is by the middle to end of spring to be at 30,000 subscribers. So let's see if we can achieve that goal. Thanks to you guys. Couldn't do it without you. We got another storm west-northwest of Seymour, Texas. This one is also a hailer as well for, and producing damaging winds here till 8 o'clock. This goes in effect for at least 19 more minutes as it's 7:41 now. 60-mile-per-hour winds and half-dollar size hail. This will be heading up there towards the Electra region as well. We'll put a tracker on this storm here in just 1 second. So we're going to put a tracker on this storm here as it moves up there toward the Electra region. So if you live in, is it going to show it? Apparently it didn't show it. I don't know why. All right, just give me a second here, guys. It didn't show any of the town names. Maybe there's no towns that live there or that are there. There we go. Grayback. So there you go. If you live in Grayback, that's in about 42 minutes. So you've already gotten hit by one severe thunderstorm. This is mainly over open areas in Texas, so that is some good news if you live there. We got a new severe thunderstorm warning, an extension to this warning from Electra over there to the Burke-Burnett area. This is just north of Wichita Falls in Texas, right near the Oklahoma-Texas border. This is for central Wichita County in North Texas until 8:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 7:39, a severe thunderstorm was located 6 miles east of Electra, Texas, moving east at 35 miles per hour. Ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts is the threat with this. So the primary threat is ping pong ball size hail, followed by a secondary threat of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. This will be for northern Wichita Falls, Burke-Burnett, Iowa Park, Electra, Shepherd Air Force Base, and the Cashin area. So if you live in those areas, seek shelter, stay away from windows, and stay safe out there. We got some ping pong ball size hail and some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts coming your way. Thank you so much, Peyton. I appreciate it. Thank you, Ashley. Yeah, let's get up to 150 likes. We need 20 more likes here on the live stream. Definitely appreciate it. Press that thumbs up button. Press the subscribe button, guys. If you guys have not yet subscribe to the channel, or at least consider subscribing, and hit the notification bell too. Appreciate it. I have a couple videos down below in the description if you guys aren't aware. A couple videos that I did. I got an educational video on derechos. I got today's weather forecast video down below and the spring forecast for 2023. That video is below in the description. So if you guys so choose, you guys can watch those later on as well. Yeah, so this storm that we're watching right now is in northwest Texas, moving right over the Electra region. That hail core is going to be moving up there towards Interstate 44 that crosses from Texas into Oklahoma, so up toward the Burke-Burnett region, the Randlet region, and also Iowa Park. So if you live in these areas, take shelter now, stay away from windows. Ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, straight line winds are moving your way. All right, this is just north of Wichita Falls here into Texas this evening. This warning doesn't affect until 8:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. And then we got another storm back here. We got a new warning farther south as well. This is for the next 30 minutes. This is north of Howley and also east of Hamlin, Texas. This is a little bit of a supercell here. 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and 1-inch quarter-size hail. A severe thunderstorm was located near Anson, moving east at 40 miles an hour here. So if you live in the Avoca region, around 7:55, so you got about 11 minutes or so, and that will be in your area. So get ready for that. Other locations impacted include the Funston area, the intersection of US 180 and Farm Road 600 here in the Tuxedo region into Texas. Watch out for that as that presses off toward the east there. And that'll be approaching Highway 283. And eventually on up toward Graham and Newcastle, Texas, but that may take a while to get there as it's only moving here towards the east at 40 miles per hour. We'll continue to track that storm. This is well west of the DFW Metroplex, so we still have a ways until this moves closer to your area. Thank you so much, Peyton, for joining. Appreciate it. You wish you had a basement, Ashley? Yeah, well, oh, you don't even have a basement up there in Ohio either? I think you said you're what, Chillicothe, Ohio, right? Huh, interesting. I know I have a basement here. It's not a very deep basement where I live even. I live in northern Illinois, but you would think I would have a deeper basement, but it's really not. I wouldn't consider my basement safe either, technically. It's kind of an older home, so. The shelter here doesn't allow pets, so I have to wait the storm out. It's going to be really scary with these tornadoes too. I hope no tornadoes, just rain and lightning and hail wind. Hopefully it's just nothing, to be honest with you. No hail or wind either, but it looks like a pretty serious threat tomorrow. So again, stay weather aware. And you see this warning here into just north of Abilene. That's the warning we're just looking at. That's for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. That'll be quickly moving toward the east here, eventually approaching the Graham area soon if it holds on. Hi from Tennessee. Strange, warm, muggy day today. Feels like tornado weather for sure. Yeah, tomorrow is going to be even muggier into Tennessee. And here I'll zoom out to kind of show you what Tennessee. If you guys, fellow Tennesseans here, hopefully I said that right, fellow Tennesseans, here's the risk categories for tomorrow. And again, the brighter the color, the higher the risk for severe weather. And I'll kind of go out with this here and kind of show you. And the higher the number, the higher the chance of severe weather. So if you live in the lighter green here, that's a 0 of 5, so essentially no chance for severe weather. If you live in the green areas, that's a 1 of 5, a 2 of 5 there into the yellow, a 3 of 5 into the orange, and a 4 of 5 here on the scale, an upper echelon type of severe weather outlook for tomorrow in the red. So the higher the number, the higher the chance of severe weather. So pick your spot on the map, and that is the chance for severe weather tomorrow. And I will be covering it, if not right here, I will be covering it on another channel with another weather forecaster on YouTube. His name is Pow Ponder on Weather. I'll be covering it tomorrow afternoon starting at 4 o'clock on his channel. I'll be kind of co-joining him on a panel tomorrow, so we'll be doing that as well. Covering the tornado outbreak live tomorrow together. Yes, Chillicothe. I wish I had one, but I live in a townhouse without a basement or attic. There are storage. Okay, gotcha. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, a lot of townhouses I would say probably don't have the best ideal basements, but hey, it's better than nothing. Better than nothing. Could someone in the chat tell me what they think about what? I will watch all your videos. What's your opinion on the weather across Set, Arkansas, or Ashley County? My mom is hard headed. She never. I think it's. I think it's. If you live in the Crossett area, you're in the highest risk. You're in the highest risk for severe weather. Here's Crossett right here into Arkansas. I'll zoom in to show you here. This is Crossett right here, and you're in the red shaded color. So that's a level 4 of 5. Okay. So if you want to, that's a level 4 of 5. So that's the higher threat for severe weather tomorrow if you live in that area. All right. So if you live in the Crossett region in southeastern Arkansas, you're at the highest risk for severe weather. And just going over some of the severe hazards for tomorrow in Crossett, the tornado risk, you were in the highest risk for tornadoes. And quite honestly, you're right in the middle of that. You're right in the middle of the risk there, pretty much in toward Crossett. So you have a 15% chance of not only tornadoes, but strong, long track, violent tornadoes that could be EF2 to EF5 strength in the Crossett region. You have a chance for damaging winds there. So you have a 30% chance for damaging winds. It looks like more of the significant hurricane force winds will be farther north of you there into eastern Arkansas, western Tennessee, northern Mississippi, southeastern portions of Missouri, into western Kentucky. That's the area where we expect more of the hurricane force winds. You know, those 74, 75 plus mile an hour wind gusts. So like Little Rock to Jonesboro to Memphis, Jackson, Tennessee there. Getting up there toward Paducah, Kentucky, those are the areas watching out for that. Pine Bluff, still in that risk for hurricane force winds. The large hail threat, not as prevalent tomorrow, but we still could see some 1, maybe 2-inch diameter hail. But of course, the main mode tomorrow will be tornadoes and widespread damaging winds. And we'll go back to the categorical outlook. What I was saying earlier, for all you guys that are just joining me here again, press that thumbs up button down below if you guys would please do so. Definitely much appreciated. Also subscribe if you're new to the channel. But if you don't know what I was talking about earlier and you're just new here, this is the area we're watching here in the red and orange, especially for the significant tornado outbreak tomorrow. Not to discount the green or yellow shaded color, but I think the orange and red areas here are at the highest risk of severe storms and tornadoes, especially in the red shaded color. This could expand. The red shaded color could expand something like this in the new outlook tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see what the Storm Prediction Center does. If that does occur, there's a chance that this area here is my concern for maybe a small high risk. And that would include near the Crossett region as well, and out there toward the Natchez region, Vicksburg, up there to Greenville there into Mississippi. So if you live right along the Mississippi River, the tri-state area, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, that is the area probably at the highest chance of seeing a high risk, but right now that's still a small possibility they upgrade that. That won't be happening until tomorrow, so they won't upgrade any of those areas to a high risk until the day of, if it does occur at all. That's a big if right now. We'll just have to wait and see. But whatever happens, even if it's a level 4 or 5, it's still a pretty significant risk here. So you got the 1, you got a 2, you got the 3 here, and then you got the 4, which is a 5 here on the scale. And then, of course, the 0 back here in just the general thunderstorm risk categories. And they'll be updating this here for tomorrow. That'll be at 1 a.m. in the morning. This will transition. This right now is a day 2 categorical outlook. That will transition to a day 1 categorical outlook on the Storm Prediction Center's page. You guys can click on Google. Go to Google and you can type in Storm Prediction Center and click on their page, the NWS SPC, the National Weather Service Storm Prediction Center. They have a new categorical outlook for day 1 that'll be out for the Friday threat. That will be at 1 a.m. in the morning Central Time. So you guys can go check that out. Yeah, a lot of these storms were severe. As they move farther north, we're going to start losing some instability. Of course, you move farther north into the cooler, more stable air, we're going to start to see less and less of these storms becoming severe. We still have one severe warning hanging on here with a decent hail core. If you live in Centerville into southeastern Missouri here, and toward the Ellington region, and then eventually on up toward Ironton here, and this eventually will be moving up toward Farmington, Park Hills, Fredericktown, and approaching Highway 67 into southeastern Missouri. This is the area of concern for some large hail and some damaging winds with this cell moving up here to the north and east. So we'll watch this. We'll put a tracker on this here in a minute. Golf ball size hail, though, is the threat with this. And this is moving quickly to the east at 55 miles per hour. All right. So again, if you live in Round Spring, Mid Ridge, Bunker, all those areas, and eventually up there toward Ironton, Centerville, Farmington, Peak Hills, or Park Hills, and then the Fredericktown area approaching Highway 67 in southeast Missouri. That is where we are concerned about a potential for golf ball size hail and maybe some 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts soon as well. The hail core looks like it's getting a little bit weaker because, or maybe a little strengthening here in the last few runs, but at least looks like it's starting to go more linear, which means this may turn more into a damaging wind risk as it pushes closer toward Highway 67 there in Missouri. I want to see the echo tops on this storm now too. Oh wow, look at that. No wonder we're seeing golf ball size hail. Look at these storm tops, guys. 49,000 foot tops there with the storm. So this storm, if you go up vertical in the atmosphere, that's how tall the thunderstorms are with this individual cell. 49,000 feet tall. That's very far up there. That's about a mile or two up in the atmosphere. That's very, very high up there. So, the taller the storms are, the more likely they are to produce severe weather in general, and also hail cores are a lot deeper, a lot stronger. They can support bigger hail the taller the thunderstorms are. I think if you guys are wondering, the tallest thunderstorm that I've ever seen was probably about 63,000 feet tall in my lifetime, on radar anyway. So this is getting up there, about 49,000 feet. Weather on the Go will be on at 4 o'clock with Pow Ponder on Weather. Yep, correct, Tim Key. Yes, I will be on live if you guys are wondering. Tomorrow I will not live stream much on my channel. I'm going to be heading over to another YouTube channel. His name is Pow Ponder on Weather. I'll be live with him at 4 o'clock p.m. Central Daylight Time tomorrow mid to late afternoon, and we'll be covering it through the evening. We're going to kind of do a joint panel tomorrow talking about live severe weather coverage. That's what we're doing tomorrow. All right, thank you guys so much for voting here. Keep voting. You want me to keep do you guys want me to keep the poll going for do you have a basement or storm shelter? Looks like we got 57 votes on here. I'll keep it open for a few minutes longer. Again, just new here, just joining, press that thumbs up button and subscribe. Consider subscribing if you're new. Again, I do daily weather forecast updates each morning at 9 a.m. on this channel, as well as these live streams during high impact events. Even, the tropical weather season and stuff like that. I cover southern Canada, the United States, and the tropics, like I said, during tropical weather season. So consider hitting that subscribe button. Let's try to get up to 200 likes here in the next few minutes, guys. We're only 5 away from 150. There's no shelter nearby. Go to low-lying areas such as a ditch or ravine and lie flat. Protect your head. That's an alternative. That's probably the last resort that I would want to do, honestly. That is the last resort for me. Again, but if you have a basement or storm shelter, I'd take my chances there. All you guys will be safe. If you guys have a basement or storm shelter and you know what to do, stay, even if you don't have a basement or storm shelter, if you put as many walls between you and the outdoors as possible and get into the most centralized room of your home and stay away from windows, you guys will be safe. You guys should be safe. We got an extension now to the severe thunderstorm warning for the Centerville region here. This includes Centerville, Ironton, the Iron Mountain Lake region, and getting very close now just west of Highway 67 in southeast Missouri with this warning. This storm's very strong. This is a big hailer here. This is for Iron County and Reynolds County in southeast Missouri until 8:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Ping pong ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts is the hazard here. So if you live in, say, the Bunker region here at 8 o'clock in 2 minutes, or 8:05 in Reynolds, Missouri in about 7 minutes, get ready for this storm. All right. I apologize. Again, I don't want to. I'm just going to kind of be drinking water here throughout the live stream. I've been talking for a while this evening, so don't mind me, guys. If I kind of pause for a minute, I'm just looking at storm reports or I'm just kind of taking a drink of water because I've been talking very frequently here this evening. Just wanted to note as well, if you were wondering what this pink shaded color is in the background, this is a severe thunderstorm watch for southern Missouri, northwest Arkansas, east central Oklahoma, and to north Texas. This goes in effect until 11 p.m. Central Daylight Time. That means that conditions are favorable for the development of severe weather, including the potential for damaging winds, in excess of 60 miles per hour, quarter size hail or larger, as well as the potential of a few tornadoes here even after dark here this evening into the overnight hours. So we'll continue to monitor this as we go through this evening. Joe says, except for an F5 that will, well, hopefully we don't see any of those tomorrow. And actually, that would be characterized as an enhanced Vegeta, so it'd be EF5. But yes, tomorrow, hopefully we don't see any of that. But the potential is there for some of those higher end tornadoes, like those EF2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s, definitely on the table tomorrow. Hopefully we don't see any tornadoes or any of that, but definitely a possibility. And that's why we warn you days ahead of time. Frank says hello from Erie, Pennsylvania. Lake effect snow country here along the southern shore of Lake Erie. Just expecting rain, some wind when the storm system passes here Friday. Yes, just some rain, rain snow mix up there. A little bit of a winter storm, snow side up there into southeastern Canada there. So if you live in like Toronto, Montreal, upstate New England there toward like northern New York State, northern Virginia, northern Vermont, northern New Hampshire, and the Maine there, and maybe even the Great Lakes region toward like Chicago, Milwaukee, Green Bay. You guys could be in store for some accumulating snow going into Saturday morning. So don't be surprised, yeah, on the northern side of this system, if you're seeing some snowflakes flying around Saturday morning this weekend. Definitely a likelihood here up toward Chicago. This storm has a special weather statement on it. This could strengthen. Right now, it has wind gusts to 40 miles an hour and nickel-sized hail racing to the northeast at 55 miles an hour here. This is for the Muskogee region, Wagner, Coweta, Fort Gibson, Haskell, Morris, O'Kay, Hulbert, Porter, Taft, and on and on and on there. That's for northeastern portions of Oklahoma. And this is turning more linear, so I do think that this is more of a damaging wind threat if this does strengthen to severe criteria. But right now, only producing 40 mile per hour wind gusts and some smaller pocket change hail southeast of the Tulsa region into northeastern Oklahoma currently. All right. I'm going to end the poll here. We got 64 votes in right now. And it looks like, do you have a basement or storm shelter? No. 70% of the 64 votes said no, and 29% said yes. Wow, that's very interesting. So a lot of you guys in the South really don't have storm shelters or basements, really? Wow. Very interesting. You would think in the South they'd have storm shelters. I know in Texas they have a lot, and Oklahoma, they have a lot of storm shelters naturally because they're in the Great Plains, and usually that's climatologically, at least historically, has been the area that have had the strongest tornadoes and more of the tornado outbreaks. But as you know, in recent years, with so called climate change, not to be controversial or anything, but it has, I think, moved a little bit. Like, you know how the tornado alleys back in here and stuff like that, and maybe even farther north, it has kind of shifted a little bit. The Dixie Alley region, Lower Mississippi Valley, Tennessee Valley is kind of the new tornado alley, I guess, so to speak, right now. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, we're really watching this storm, kind of almost taking on a little bit of a mini bow echo here. We'll see if that happens or not. See if we get some damaging winds out of this. But this will be moving up towards Centerville, Ironton, and the Iron Mountain Lake region, and approaching Highway 67 here in towards southeast Missouri soon. Let's move down into Texas, though. We'll have to cover these storms as well, kind of bouncing around a lot of these storms today. We had a pretty big hailstorm down here, or at least a chance at a hailstorm down here into the Burknett region. Look at this. Wow. This is a very destructive storm. This is producing some tennis ball size hail, or capable of producing tennis ball size hail there over central Wichita County there until 8:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Tennis ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour winds. This is moving toward the Burknett region. So if you live in Burke Burnett or Iowa Park, Shepherd Air Force Base area, the Cashin area, northern Wichita Falls, this is a nasty storm producing there some tennis ball size hail. Tennis ball size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Wow. So if you live in Burke Burnett, and this is crossing in towards southwestern portions of Oklahoma, crossing over the state line here from Texas into Oklahoma. So if you live in the Randlet region, crossing over Interstate 44 here and towards Temple, if you live in Temple, Hastings, up here into Oklahoma, Comanche, Addington, Waurika, all these areas crossing over there and towards portions of Interstate 44 in southwest Oklahoma, you really want to take shelter here because this is some dangerous hail. Tennis ball size that's very large hail. And again, with the returns on here, I wouldn't be surprised if we even saw some baseball size hail come out of this storm. Again, no rotation with this storm at all, so that's some great news. It has produced a lot of heavy rain, though. Look at all the heavy rain that it's produced in its wake here. You see about 3/4 of an inch back here northwest of Wichita Falls, a couple areas over 1.5 inches. Back west of Seymour, this storm actually produced a couple areas of around 2 to 3 inches of rain in a short amount of time in just 1 hour period. So a lot of potential isolated flash flooding even with some of these storms. I know some of these areas are dry, but if you get a lot of heavy rain, 1 to 2 inch per hour rainfall rates, it can run off a lot. You see a lot of runoff here and ponding on the roadways and ditches and low-lying areas and stuff like that. So have to definitely watch out for some flooded roadways across these areas. Even though you're in drought, you still can get some flooding. Again, I apologize. Just drinking some water, guys. We have more hurricanes in eastern North Carolina. Usually you guys get more hurricanes probably than tornadoes there, but hey, you have a chance maybe of some stronger storms on Saturday in North Carolina. Right now the marginal risk is in South Carolina, Georgia, Alabama, and North Florida, but we'll watch it there. If you guys are just joining, be sure to press that thumbs up button down below the live stream itself. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new, and also hit the notification bell so you get notified for these live streams. I'll have another video out for you guys at 9 a.m. tomorrow morning, so be sure to watch that as well. We'll have updates. We'll be talking about the tornado outbreak unfolding tomorrow in my video at 9 a.m. Wow. Texas must be the area where we get a lot of hail usually because, man, the last couple of weeks it's been Thursday, Thursday, Thursday with a lot of these severe weather events and these bigger storms, and looks to continue even next week. Again, we don't want to look too far ahead because we're talking about this system, but heads up for late next week. Again, if you live in the southern central plains, yet again, we could do this all over again next week potentially. The severity of it is in question, but there will be severe weather somewhere late next week. So Thursday, Friday, just to end the month of March. So March 30th, 31st, April 1st, somewhere in that time frame. Watch out for possibly another round of severe weather across the central southern plains into the Ohio Valley this time, maybe a little bit farther north with the severe weather going in towards late next week than it is now. So we'll watch that as well. Of course, we'll have updates on it here on my page in the mornings. Hey, Steven, how you doing? Good evening to you. We're just kind of tracking some of these storms here. We've had some big hail this evening. The one we're looking at now, Steven, is actually producing some tennis ball size hail. And wow, just all at once there, we have 2 more warnings. This is for Lawton and Fort Sill, Oklahoma now. So we have a new severe thunderstorm warning here. This includes Lawton and Fort Sill, Oklahoma. For Comanche County, for northwestern Cotton County and east central Tillman County here into southwest Oklahoma until 8:45 Central Time. A severe thunderstorm is located 6 miles northwest of Faxon, Oklahoma, moving northeast quickly at 55 miles an hour. So 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, followed by half-dollar size hail as a secondary threat with this storm. So if you live in the Lawton area, catch Elgin, The Fletcher region, Sterling, Chattanooga region there, that's in Oklahoma. Faxon, Fort Sill, Oklahoma there. The Lake Ellsworth region, and then into Hewlin, Oklahoma, we have a severe warning for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts there, and also half dollar size hail as a secondary threat. So if you live in Lawton or Fort Sill, that area there into Oklahoma, get ready because we have a supercell thunderstorm capable of damaging winds and large hail coming your way now. That's moving your way right now. I live in Patterson, Louisiana. Okay, gotcha. Thank you so much, Ashley, again for modding. Much appreciated. I was at dinner with family, keeping an eye on the storms with Radar Omega. Yeah, that's the application I'm using right now is Radar Omega. Great application. We got another warning to the south. This now includes Seymour, Texas. So if you live in Seymour, kind of two thunderstorms here. We got the first severe thunderstorm here in that warning box. Right now, this is north of the Seymour region. That's going to be pushing up there again toward Wichita Falls. A lot of these storms, again, will be pushing kind of over the same areas with the parallel flow to the boundary. We got the winds in the mid-levels parallel to the boundary, so they're not going to have much eastward movement on them until later on. So we just had a new warning come out. So we have a bunch of warnings, a string of warnings here. Our first one here, that's moving up toward Wichita Falls. Our second one here, that's going to also be pushing up toward Wichita Falls. So likely is that Wichita Falls will be in a severe thunderstorm warning very soon with the chance for large hail and damaging winds. So let's look at this one again. We have another new severe thunderstorm warning. This also includes Electra. So we already had damaging hail in the Electra region. Now we're going to do it all over again. So if you live in northwestern Archer County, southwestern Wichita County, southeastern Wilbarger County, or northeastern Baylor County in North Texas until 9 o'clock Central Time this evening, a severe thunderstorm is located near Lake Kemp, moving northeast at 45 miles an hour. The hazard is 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and half dollar size hail with this storm. Electra, Lake Kemp, the Mankins region, Lake Diversion, and Dundee in Texas is in the path of this storm. And we're going to kind of do a little storm track on this. If this storm decides to continue to move toward Wichita Falls here, we're going to kind of put a tracker on this storm here to see how long it'll take to get there. So if you live there in Wichita Falls, if this storm continues to maintain its intensity and continue to push off to the east-northeast at 45 miles an hour, it will be arriving in Wichita Falls in just under an hour, so about 50 to 55 minutes there into the Wichita Falls region. Again, some major population areas there into North Texas, so we'll watch that. Then we got that other warning down here into portions of the Seymour region. We got another supercell down here. This is for southeastern Knox County and also northwestern Baylor County. Severe thunderstorm located over the Rhineland, Texas region, moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. This is going in effect until 8:45 Central Time. Hazard here is 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and half dollar size hail as well. So a lot of these are producing some big hail in Texas. So some big hailers moving in one by one, and a lot of these over the same areas too. Thank you so much, Ashley. Again, appreciate it. Much appreciated. Pitt County, North Carolina, last outbreak we had was March 28th, 1984. Very bad. Huh. I think there's probably been a lot more outbreaks since then. You just probably don't realize it. I can't imagine the last outbreak was that long ago into North Carolina. It's got to be sooner than that. More recent. Hey, did the Mayfield tornado start in Fulton County in Kentucky before making it? I believe so, Jakey buddy. I believe so. It's been a while since I've looked at that, so I'm not familiar with the counties, just kind of more the city names than anything else. Yeah, look at this, guys. We got a string of warnings here. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 severe thunderstorm warnings, all in southwestern Oklahoma or North Texas here. This is well northwest of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. You can see the DFW Metroplex on the bottom right-hand corner of your screen down here, and then you also have that all to the north and west there. So the storms are trying to fire up here into portions of West Texas. They're struggling right now. Along the dry line. Again, we have convergence. We just don't have a lot of that oomph yet to get this going and pushing it farther east. But we will This will arrive into the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, McKinney, Texas, Denton, Sherman, Texas up here, Gainesville, the Sulphur Springs area, Mansfield, all these areas here probably well after midnight towards sunrise tomorrow. So that you'll be waiting all night for these storms if you live in the DFW Metroplex in Texas. Probably won't arrive until after 5 o'clock in the morning, till about 7, 8 o'clock, and then those will push into East Texas tomorrow and be causing havoc into the lower Mississippi Valley. That's with what we've been talking about all along with that moderate risk upgrade earlier on today with the Storm Prediction Center. We'll have to wait and see if we have a high risk upgrade tomorrow. It's definitely possible. I think the evidence is there that this is probably, if it's going to go high risk, this is probably the strongest evidence we have this year of a high risk with severe weather so far this year, or in quite a while across the lower Mississippi Valley. So we will see. It won't be a large area of a high risk. If it does get upgraded, and again, that's an if. If it does get upgraded to a high risk, it won't be a large area that's upgraded, but maybe a few counties or so. But still, I mean, it's been quite a while since we've had a high risk down here, so we'll wait and see. Either or, though, moderate risk still does it justice. I think there's a lot of evidence that this is going to be a pretty nasty tornado outbreak tomorrow. We definitely could be seeing tornadoes in the double digits potentially tomorrow. Hopefully not, but it's possible. We'll move up here toward portions of northeastern Oklahoma. Again, none of these storms are severe, but there are numerous, special weather statements and strong thunderstorms. Again, these are parallel to the boundary, so they're kind of moving over the same area, and that's what's going to lead to the flash flooding threat across this region. There's actually a moderate risk for flash flooding, so not for severe weather, but for flash flooding. But you also do have that severe thunderstorm watch there in east central Oklahoma, northwestern Arkansas, and to southern Missouri through 11 p.m. Central Daylight Time this evening. So this is the area we'll watch. So Fayetteville to Fort Smith to Rogers, back here toward Joplin, Missouri, just south of you, over here toward the Ozark regions into southern Missouri. Oklahoma City, Norman, Shawnee, up here toward Tulsa. You guys are all in that severe thunderstorm watch until 11 o'clock this evening. See these storms down here that we were just talking about, those big hailers into North Texas crossing in to southwestern Oklahoma here. Those are all going to be pushing closer toward the Oklahoma City area, Shawnee, and all these areas getting later into this evening. So you think you're done so far into Oklahoma City. You may have some more storms maybe just east of you toward the Shawnee region in eastern Oklahoma into those severe thunderstorm watch areas in just a couple hours' time. Is there any rain and thunderstorm heading to Ohio for Saturday afternoon? Hello from Kianute, Ohio, east side of Cleveland, Ohio. Hopefully I pronounced that correctly. I apologize if I did not. On Saturday, yes, the storm is going to be pushing in towards Ohio as we go into Saturday. We'll look at the NAM 3KM here. You said going into Saturday afternoon. That's not what we want. Just one moment here. All right, so here we go with that. Yeah, there's our nasty storms down here as we head into Friday. That's the severe weather and tornado outbreak we'll be watching. We have a little bit of some snowfall up there, maybe some rain mixing in into northern Illinois and Indiana. Then going through Ohio on Saturday, the 25th. This is 11 o'clock in the morning, and here's the low pressure system on Saturday, somewhere like this. And then we have the cold front pushing through eastern Ohio. We have a little bit of a warm front up here, or kind of an occluding front, and then we have the deformation snow band back behind it with the colder air. Some of these storms could be strong. I wouldn't be surprised to see some strong wind gusts, maybe some smaller hail, some heavy rain, certainly, some frequent lightning, stuff like that, into Ohio through the day on Saturday. Let's see here. Let's go back to about 9 o'clock. Let's see what I think I went too far. So there'll be spokes of energy coming through. So like Saturday morning, it'll be probably pretty wet with some soggy conditions there into eastern Ohio there from Akron, Cleveland, down east to Columbus, Chillicothe, those areas at 6 a.m. Then going through, say, the Saturday morning time frame, about 10 a.m., maybe one last line of showers and storms. Those could be stronger. We'll watch that. Nothing overly severe, though. Then by 1 o'clock in the afternoon, we'll see more lingering showers and storms right along the Pennsylvania-Ohio border. Those will be crossing in toward the Pittsburgh region by 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And then it looks like by the time we get toward mid to late afternoon, we'll be drying out. Maybe some lingering drizzle, probably some cloudy skies in here across Ohio. But other than that, the main threat for this is going to be pushing across New England. So that's what we're looking at for Saturday. This outbreak isn't going to be extreme like a 5 out of 5, nothing. All right, man, come on now. There's a 4 out of 5 on the scale. You can't be saying it's not extreme. That's a pretty high end risk, man. We're not going to be downplaying stuff on this channel unless it's actually downplayed. So what I'm saying with that is when you have a moderate risk of severe weather, that is a pretty extreme risk. That doesn't mean that you're not going to, I mean, of course, yeah, there could be busts with this, but there's nothing that suggests that there's going to be a bust. We've already went over the kinematics or the jet stream with this storm. We've already went over the energy levels earlier on, the dew points, all that stuff. I mean, everything looks like it's coming together here. We have that perfect kind of birthday cake. You can't have a birthday cake without frosting, and it looks like we have that going into Friday. Unfortunately, at the surface, it looks like that right now. Well, hopefully it's wrong. Hopefully not. Hopefully you're right. We don't have it, but I don't. Yeah, nothing's being downplayed. So let's not put bogus information in there because we want people that are actually in this area to be on guard for this. We don't want to be telling them that nothing's going to happen when there's actually a real risk for tornadoes, okay? So let's not be like that. Let's go to the HRRR model. Let's time out these storms here into Texas and all that here. Here's the storm threat right now. This is 8 o'clock. Again, it's doing a fairly good job of showing this here. Again, I know I see this watch box is in the way here. I apologize. I could always take it off, but you can see the heavy rainfall threat lining up right along that boundary here. That'll be also flash flooding threat overnight tonight. This is this evening. And again, some of the storms, some big hail producing storms back here across North Texas. We'll be watching there, and that's 8 o'clock here this evening. Going through late evening, this is about 11 o'clock. Again, much of the same. Some of the heavier rainfall threat will be pushing farther up to the north and east. So now we're talking about you in St. Louis, southern portions of Illinois, southern Indiana up here. That flash flooding threat up toward Indianapolis, Bloomington, Indiana. Those will start to move into your area. Probably not any severe weather. And if you do, it'll probably be on the southern side of all this heavy rain. So like if you live right along the Ohio River, so like Louisville to Henryville, to Evansville, even toward Paducah, Kentucky, some of those areas, we may be starting to see a couple of warnings here and there for storms, but probably not severe. The more severe stuff overnight tonight into late this evening will probably be farther off here into these areas that I'm circling here. So from like southern, southwestern Missouri down through northwest Arkansas, east central Oklahoma to north Texas, northwest of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. This is going in towards, say, 11 o'clock this evening. After midnight we go, this is 1 a.m., and you start to see a little bit of some changes here. We start to see that dry line start to kick up more storms back here in towards portions of, say, like West Texas, those areas. This is still west of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex here, so we'll be watching for some scattered supercells, probably some big hailers. Some of these could be 2-inch or larger in diameter with the hail as we go into West Texas later on. This is after midnight even. And then as we go into, say, 4 o'clock in the morning, the HRRR model, it's just coming out right now as we speak, and it's showing a pretty nasty squall line here. We could be talking about some damaging winds, some very large hail, and even some QLCS tornadoes spinning up here into southern portions of Oklahoma, the Red River, Wichita Falls, Fort Worth, getting down to Abilene, even farther south there towards portions of west central Texas. That's at 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning time frame. Then, as we're getting ready to head out the door for school or work on Friday morning on March 24th, we have the heavy rainfall threat up here into eastern Oklahoma primarily. Maybe some warnings at times, but I think more of the stronger storms will be weakening here across portions of the DFW Metroplex. So it will be on a weakening trend by the time we get in towards the, say, 5, 6, 7 o'clock in the morning time frame as it pushes across central and east Texas here. So as it approaches and moves into Dallas, Fort Worth, McKinney, Sherman, Texas, sure, there could be some stronger storms, but a lot of these will be on a weakening trend as they move farther to the east there. We'll be watching these storms farther north and east, so like into Arkansas, this is at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning tomorrow. A few of these could be strong. We'll have to wait and see how severe these are. Probably not going to be the type of storms to produce any tornadoes early on in the morning, but again, with such a volatile atmosphere, we'll have to wait and see on that. And then going as far as this model does go, 7 a.m., we'll start to see a little bit of some re-intensification of the storms back here toward the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. A little bit, very slowly as it pushes into a more unstable environment into the mid-morning hours across East Texas. We'll also have to watch these storms up here right along that boundary. We could have a couple of some spin-ups or maybe even some isolated large hail-producing storms from Memphis to Jackson, Tennessee, back through the Little Rock region, Jonesboro. This is at 6, 7, 8 o'clock in the morning as you're headed off to work or school. We'll be kind of watching this for you as well. You're all good, Ashley. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why nothing's downplayed about this, man. So, Jakey, buddy, there's a level 4 or 5 for severe weather. So again, it's not a downplay. That's why we're doing these live streams because we want to keep people safe out there. So let's not downplay this risk for people. All right. What about Pine Bluff, Arkansas? Yeah, Pine Bluff. Actually, here I'll change it back so you guys can see what the risk is because you were probably just joining me here. For Pine Bluff, Arkansas, this is the risk for tomorrow. We're going to open up the severe weather risk, and I probably showed this 1,000 times already, but for the new people that haven't joined yet and just joining the stream, for Pine Bluff, Arkansas here, you're in a level 4 or 5. You're in that moderate risk for severe storms. Going through some of the hazards for you in the Pine Bluff area, you have the threat of tornadoes, so you have the 10 to 15% chance. You're actually right on that line there, so you have a significant tornado threat tomorrow, potentially those EF2 to EF5 type tornadoes in the Pine Bluff, Arkansas region. You want to watch out for that primarily in the afternoon and evening hours. And then you have the threat for damaging winds. Pine Bluff, you're also in the threat for hurricane force wind gusts. So those 70, 80, 90 mile per hour wind gusts are possible into your area. That includes areas to the north towards Jonesboro, Blytheville up there into Arkansas there, northeast Arkansas, western Tennessee, northwestern Mississippi there, western portions of Kentucky, places like that, extreme southeastern Missouri. That's where we can see those 74 plus mile per hour wind gusts with those hurricane force gusts going through the day tomorrow, primarily during the afternoon and evening. Then as we transition over to the large hail threat, that's more of a lower end threat, but we still could see some more widespread 1-inch hail, so those quarter size, half dollar size hailstones, maybe some isolated golf ball size hail, stuff like that, especially if we have those supercells developing by, say, Friday afternoon and evening. So we'll watch that as well as it moves farther to the east. So again, just going over this, the higher the number, the higher the chance of severe weather. So kind of broadening this out for you. So watch your spot on the map here. If you are in the lighter green, that's a 0% chance of severe weather, just some general garden variety type storms. If you're in the darker green here, that's a marginal risk. That's a level 1 of 5 here, maybe a few isolated severe storms. Now it gets a little bit more serious. We have a 2 out of 5 here in the yellow. That means we have some scattered severe storms possible, a few tornadoes possible as well in that zone. And then the upper echelon type of severe weather in the 3, that's in the orange. That's a enhanced risk of severe weather. That's kind of the middle of the road on the scale of it goes from it's 3 of 5. That's where some tornadoes are likely, even a couple of strong long track tornadoes. So those EF2 to EF5 type tornado strengths. You have the 80, 90 mile per hour wind gust potential, and also even some large hail, 1 to possibly isolated 2-inch hail stones with those storms. And then in the 4 out of 5, that's the highest risk we have so far for tomorrow. This could expand. We could even have an upgrade to a 5 out of 5 at high risk. It's possible tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. Right now, the highest risk for tornadoes is in that tri-state area into southeast Arkansas, northeastern Louisiana to west central Mississippi. So if you live in Jackson, Mississippi here, and I'll kind of zoom it in for you guys, Jackson, Mississippi, right along I-55 up there toward Memphis, getting in toward Greenville, Vicksburg, Natchez, that's all in Mississippi there. Watch out for some strong long track tornadoes, widespread damaging winds, and large hail tomorrow. Pine Bluff down here, and even a couple people joining me from the Crossett region, McGee, if you guys live in those areas, El Dorado into southeastern Arkansas, you're under that moderate risk. And then farther south into northeastern Louisiana, so the Ruston, Monroe, Louisiana area, Bastrop down here into Winnsboro and Winfield, you guys are all in that moderate risk right along that Interstate 20 corridor, the Interstate 20 corridor. So if you live in that area, you definitely want to watch out for that. All right. Chris says, what about Starkville, Mississippi? Let me look for where Starkville is, and I'll answer your question. Starkville, Mississippi. Again, I'm not too familiar with this, so I will look it up and see where Starkville is. Oh, so that's in like northeast or east Mississippi, south of Tupelo. You are actually in, oh, there it is. You're in that enhanced risk. So you have a chance for significant tornadoes tomorrow. You are in that 10% hatched area for tornadoes. So you could have a strong long track tornado, widespread 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts, and possibly up to 2-inch hail with some of the storms in Starkville, Mississippi tomorrow. So stay weather aware. This could expand into your area. We could have the enhanced or the moderate risk rather kind of expand a little bit into your area. So we'll have to wait and see what the Storm Prediction Center does in the morning with the update here. But again, if you live in the Starkville region, you want to be weather aware. You guys are just joining me, press the like button down below, or should I say press the thumbs up button down below the live stream. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and also hit the notification bell so you get notified of future live streams. I'll have a new video for you guys tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. on this channel. So subscribe if you're new, guys, or at least consider subscribing, and also, press the thumbs up button down below. Appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys. Any other questions for me, guys? I definitely can answer them here throughout the live stream. We're just kind of doing severe weather analysis with real radar analysis here this evening. But let's go through tomorrow's timing for the storms. Let's go through some of the models here and look at what the timing looks like. I was kind of waiting for the HRRR to kind of run its course here. It hasn't quite got there yet. So let's go back to the 18Z HRRR model, and let's look at the timing of these storms going through the day on Friday. All right. So let's go into Friday morning here. This is about 9 a.m. on Friday. We got some storms moving through portions of central Arkansas here. Make no mistake about it, these storms could be capable of producing some tornadoes here right along that boundary, so we'll watch that. This includes Little Rock, Jonesboro, if you live up here even into portions of Pine Bluff, or at least northwest of Pine Bluff, and then back into extreme southeastern Oklahoma and toward the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, so like McKinney, Sherman, Texas, the Denton region. Might have to watch out for some isolated hail, some damaging winds, and maybe a spin-up tornado tomorrow morning here. This is already mid-morning, 9 a.m., probably seeing some severe weather. Then going in toward the noon time frame here, again, a lot of this area in the moderate risk zone is not seeing any storm activity here, and we may have a lot of cloud cover, so we might have a little bit of some weak destabilization going on or energy building up in the atmosphere throughout the morning into the noon time frame, and we still have that frontal boundary back here to the west across East Texas, ready to move eastward and intersect some of that warm, moist air that's moving up out of the Gulf of Mexico here towards the north. So we'll be watching that. And then that's at the noon time frame. So if you live in Memphis, Jackson, Tennessee, Clarksville, Tennessee, the northwest side of Nashville, already by noon, we could be seeing some very heavy rain, some damaging winds, some large hail, maybe some spin-up tornadoes. Certainly going to have to watch out for some tornadoes in the Memphis region, Little Rock here as we head in toward the noon time frame. Then as we head in toward the into the mid-afternoon, Here's a couple things that I want to note with this, all right? There's some interesting developments here on the models over the last couple of days that I want to tell you about. So the first development is that models have kind of trended a little bit slower with the front moving eastward. So that places the highest risk for tornadoes across that tri-state area here in Arkansas, Missouri here, and into Mississippi, and right in the middle of that moderate risk zone. Right along the boundary here, we're going to have some scattered supercells, probably more of a broken line of storms than anything else. And then maybe some discrete supercells out ahead of the main line here. Those ones are the ones we'll have to watch for significant tornadoes as early as 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And then as we go in towards the evening hours, this is about 6 o'clock. Now, this is prime time for some dangerous severe weather. We're going to have a developing squall line with embedded tornadoes, widespread damaging winds, and large hail. This will be pushing across Little Rock here, getting down through Pine Bluff, even portions of Monroe, Shreveport, Alexandria, and then maybe some of these discrete supercells out ahead of the main line toward Jackson, Mississippi. Those are the ones toward the Natchez region, Vicksburg, Greenville, Jackson, Mississippi, and then on up there toward Tupelo. We'll have to watch for those strong, violent tornadoes that could be on the ground for a long period of time through the day on Friday. This is at 6 p.m. So now as the sun's going down, look at this. We could have some monstrous supercells up here. Each one of these could be producing strong tornadoes potentially as we go through that 8 o'clock time frame, and the sun is setting. But not only are we going to see strong tornadoes out ahead of the main line, but we still have the main squall line back to the west. So some of these areas, and probably a lot of these areas, we'll be seeing a 1-2 punch with severe weather. So if you have a strong tornado out ahead of the main line, you're not done yet because you have the main cold front to push through yet. And that's where you could see some damaging winds, large hail, and even more tornadoes along the leading edge of that cold front as it pushes farther to the east and towards that tri-state area. So Arkansas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. So we'll continue to really have to watch that going into that time frame for sure, all right? And again, we have to be concerned about Memphis as well, so we don't want to discount them up there. Late evening hours, this is probably going to congeal more to a squall line, and this is going to be where we have more of those hurricane force wind gusts potentially. Some of these wind gusts could be over 60, 70 miles an hour here. This is including the Clarksville, Nashville region, Jackson, Tennessee, down here toward Tupelo. We could have some real nasty storms in the Tupelo, Mississippi area by late evening. We're talking 10, 11 o'clock, getting into midnight time frame on Saturday. This is something we're continuing to watch for that time frame there. And then Jackson, Mississippi, the tail end of the squall line, we have to watch out for some strong tornadoes there as well, even well after dark, late evening. Then as we go through the overnight hours, this is about 3 o'clock in the morning. We still are going strong with that squall line into Knoxville, Lexington, Kentucky, Huntington, West Virginia, Chattanooga, getting down into the northwest of Atlanta, Birmingham, Tuscaloosa, these areas. We might have to watch for some damaging winds, especially in the southern side of the squall line. So eastern Tennessee, extreme northwestern Georgia, and the central portions of Alabama. We'll be watching you guys for the threat of some dangerous severe weather overnight getting into Saturday morning. All right, probably more of a heavy rainfall threat farther north across these areas there into Kentucky, but still maybe some embedded, severe weather. You see a lot of heavy rainfall there in Columbus, Chillicothe, Parkersburg, getting into Cincinnati, Dayton, the Akron, Cleveland area, Lexington, Kentucky, and then getting farther south here toward Richmond, Kentucky. Knoxville, Tennessee. A lot of these areas will be seeing some very heavy rain, thunderstorm activity overnight on Friday into Saturday morning. This is at 3 o'clock in the morning. And then farther into Saturday we go. This will finally start to weaken with maybe some ongoing stronger storms down here through the Atlanta metro area, western Carolinas here, even into western North Carolina. And that's why I think that the marginal risk that we had down here that was kind of something like this, that could be expanding a little bit farther to the north and east as we head through the day on Saturday. We'll just have to wait and see. Going through the day on Saturday now, 10 a.m. Again, a lot of these storms will be on a weakening trend to the north, but we have enough energy across the southern side of this system into South Carolina, Georgia, southeastern Alabama, and northwest Florida. We'll have to watch out for some severe weather on Saturday. All right, so this will primarily be Saturday morning into the early afternoon hours. So that's the timing. That's what we expect. So if you live in any of those areas and I went over the timing, then there you guys go. That's when you can expect some of the most dangerous weather going in through the next 24 to 72 hours or so. All right. Do you know when it's going to hit Jonesboro, Arkansas? Let me go back here on Friday night. So Jonesboro, Arkansas is an interesting setup here. So, what could be the saving grace for you potentially tomorrow would be the hope is that these storms in the morning hang around long enough to kind of squelch a lot of the energy or the instability out of the atmosphere needed for strong to severe thunderstorms. Now, if that occurs, then we could probably see more of a lesser threat for severe weather, and that'll be focused farther south. But the HRRR model is showing that heavy rain in the morning, a little brief break during the noon time frame, and then the main squall line moves through about 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Jonesboro. All right, so kind of seeing a lot of rain all day, but hopefully the saving grace for you is that you have more rainfall throughout the day. You do not want to see sun. Tomorrow is the day you do not want to see any sunshine here anywhere across the deep south. You want it to stay as cloudy as possible because the more sunshine you see, the more energy the atmosphere has to produce widespread tornadoes and just widespread severe weather in general. So that's what we want to see is more cloud cover. The darker the day is, the more cloud cover we see, the better. All right. We don't want sunshine on a day like tomorrow. Yeah, thank you, Ashley. Yeah, we're 28 people away. We're 28 people away from hitting 200. So hit that like button, the thumbs up button down below. Let's get to 200 likes on the live stream, guys. Much appreciated. Consider subscribing to the channel if you're new. We're almost to 25,500 subscribe, and we're right at 25,500. So if you guys want to subscribe, I'll be doing a daily video every morning for you guys, 9 a.m. I cover southern Canada, the United States, and the tropics during tropical weather season. If you guys love detailed weather breakdowns, this is definitely the place for you on YouTube. Um, we'll be tracking it. All right. Let's get back to real-time radar analysis now. So that's what you can expect through the day tomorrow. We got a lot of severe warnings down here. The big hailers pushing through southwestern Oklahoma into North Texas here, including getting very close to the Wichita Falls region as we get in towards, say, the next 30 to 45 minutes or so, we'll say, across these areas. Thank you so much, Ashley. Yeah, I think I froze again real quick, Tim, but I think we're back now, so that's good. Just a little glitch, that's all. Hopefully, anyway, right? Make sure to save my voice tomorrow. Well, I'll try. That's why I'm going live with Pal Ponder on weather. So hopefully, because it's his channel, he can do more of the radar analysis, and I'll kind of sit back and watch, wait and see if there's any tornado warnings that need to be talked about on there. I'll kind of be his storm report guy on there. I'll kind of talk about storm reports and all that stuff on his channel there. So we'll be doing that tomorrow. I'll be live with him, Pal Ponder on weather, at starting at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, so if you live in Duncan, if you live up here in Duncan, Oklahoma, Temple, you're seeing the hail core move right over your area right now. This is some big hail, guys. Half dollar size hail and 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts there in the Temple region. This is northern Jefferson County, Stevens County, and eastern Cotton County here in towards southwestern and southern Oklahoma until 9:30 Central Time. And Duncan, Walters, Waurika, Comanche, Temple, Velma, Hastings, Loco, Addington, Waurika Lake, Coram, Empire City, and Taylor, Oklahoma are the areas impacted by this warning. Again, that goes in effect until 9:30 Central Time. It's a big hail with that storm. We just got a new area of severe thunderstorm warning here. This is up toward the Chickasha area there into Oklahoma. This is for northeastern Comanche County, northern Grady County, and southeastern Caddo County, and southwestern and central Oklahoma until 9:30 Central Time. This was near the Lake Ellsworth region, moving northeast quickly at 55 miles an hour. Again, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and half-dollar size hail. And earlier on, this storm was capable of producing tennis ball size hail, and it possibly did. I didn't look at any of the storm reports. Can you guys, any of you guys confirm, did this storm produce any, the storm here to the south of Lawton, did that produce any tennis ball size hail? Anybody see that on Twitter or anything? I'll try to repost after the stream some of the pictures and videos that storm chasers and stuff have of any hail, tornadoes, funnel clouds, anything like that on my Twitter page. I'll repost it for you guys. I'll retweet it so you guys can see some of that footage of what these storms have been doing this evening. Yeah, so you guys just joining, press the thumbs up button. The more thumbs up we get, the more people join the live stream and the more people we warn of these storms this evening. All right, let's look through the storm reports. I'm just kind of looking through the Storm Prediction Center storm reports here this evening, and it looks like let's see what's happening here. All right, so I'm going to look at some of the storm reports we're getting in this evening. We're getting a lot of hail reports in, not only from Missouri, but even central and eastern Oklahoma, North Texas here. We got a lot of quarter-size hail reported there, some half-dollar and even ping-pong ball-size hail being reported. We even have some trees down into portions of those areas. We actually had a storm up there in western Pennsylvania even produced some trees, had some tree damage up in those areas. Some trees down into southern portions of Missouri with some of those storms earlier on. That's currently some of the storm reports that I see right now. That's all I see so far on the Storm Prediction Center's the rolling storm report page. So any real-time storm reports that they have on there, I'll spread that information along to you. But so far, that's all I see is quarter-size hail, ping-pong ball-size hail, and some trees down. One in Pennsylvania and another couple of trees down there into Missouri from these storms. So we already have some storm damage, some damaging winds producing some tree damage with these storms in southern Missouri right along that front. And then you have all this big hail down here in Oklahoma and Texas with some ping pong ball size hail so far, the only hail that's the biggest on there being reported as of now. We do have a storm here still producing severe warnings just to the south of St. Louis here. This is going to be getting very close to Illinois. This is approaching I-55 toward the Perryville region, actually just moving in toward the Fredericktown area. This is crossing Highway 67. So this storm is warned for some hail and wind. This is for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. The source is public, so that does mean they have seen 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail, and this is probably the storm that has produced some of that tree damage there into southern and southeastern Missouri this evening. And you do notice that it's not even in the watch box, so even if you're not in the severe thunderstorm watch, you still can get these rogue, more isolated severe thunderstorms still outside of the watch box here this evening. Is Springfield, Missouri at risk of tornadoes tonight? Springfield, Missouri. Back here into southwest Missouri? I think so, actually. Let me go to the tornado risks here tonight. Just south of you. So just south of Springfield, Missouri, that's where the tornado risk is tonight. Actually, there's a 2, even a 5% shading. That's in northwest Arkansas. So the highest risk for tornadoes tonight is in northwest Arkansas, southeast Oklahoma, and to North Texas, just north of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So that is just to the south of you there by a few counties to the south of Springfield. So right now it looks like Springfield, Missouri, there's not really a chance of tornadoes for you tonight. Most of the severe weather will occur south of you right now where that current severe thunderstorm watch is. That severe thunderstorm watch is just one county to your south into Ozark, Missouri, and then farther south into, say, like the Fayetteville, Fort Smith, and Rogers, Arkansas region. Your brother's in Springfield. His fiance said it was a crazy storm for a second and then it stopped. Also had hail there. Really? Wow. All right. Yeah, it's probably part of the. Here, I'll turn the radar up here. It's probably part of these storms here. They're really moving over the same areas, kind of like really right over the Springfield Ozark region. There's another batch of some very heavy rain and some frequent lightning about to move into Springfield in the next probably 10, 15 minutes, and then more heavy rain. You're kind of in that zone for flash flooding in Springfield. So I wouldn't worry so much about the severe weather threat. It's more the flash flooding threat here. You have that moderate risk for flash flooding, and that's pretty uncommon to get. So flash flooding. So if you live near a river, creek, stream, low-lying area, ditch of any sort, anywhere that can fill up with water, you want to be very careful of that here if you live in towards the Springfield area. Make sure your sub pumps do work into southern Missouri, including in Springfield and up there towards St. Louis, because you're probably going to need them, especially with all this heavy rain moving in overnight tonight into tomorrow. And then, of course, tomorrow that flash flooding risk shifts a little farther up toward the Ohio River Valley here through the day on Friday, with that moderate risk more into northeastern portions of like Arkansas, so Jonesboro up there, because you're going to have multiple rounds of storms in northeast Arkansas. You got the round in the morning, a little break at midday, and then you have that second round that could be severe even with the heavy rain in the afternoon. In the cumulative, you have a lot of that flash flooding threat going in towards that morning and afternoon commute there, and even evening commute on Friday into northeast Arkansas. Same goes true for you there in towards extreme northwest Tennessee, southeastern Missouri, southern Illinois, western and northern Kentucky, southern Indiana, and up there towards as far northeast as like Columbus and Chillicothe, Dayton, Cincinnati. All you guys in southwest Ohio have that moderate risk for flash flooding tomorrow. All right, so that's another, I guess you could say that's another form of severe weather is the flash flooding, but we'll watch that there. So if you live in like Springfield, Missouri, it's moving in toward the Republic area, the Battlefield region. You guys are seeing some heavy rainfall, another nice line of storms moving in. So if you live there, I know a lot of population in Springfield, Missouri. We got that storm and then maybe some more storms and heavy rain farther to the west moving in over the next couple hours. So very rainy there, very, very rainy. Yeah, they had probably a lot of lightning with those storms for sure there in Springfield. Yeah, I'm teaming up with Powell Ponder on weather tomorrow, Rain Maves. Yep. We're doing it at 4 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. I'll be on the stream with him, probably just doing audio, but I'll still be there with him. He'll be doing the real time, like live radar analysis, and I'll be helping him out with storm reports and what I see on the radar on my end as well. So I will not be doing much of a live stream tomorrow late afternoon or early evening on my channel. I may go live later tomorrow evening on my channel. It just depends on how late we go on his channel and stuff like that. I just want to help him out. Usually on higher end severe weather days, I kind of join up with Pow Ponder on weather, and we kind of help each other out and doing some live radar analysis and stuff like that. So that's what we're going to do tomorrow at 4 o'clock p.m. Central Time. Yeah, Robert, where's that at? I haven't heard of that. Of course, I haven't been focusing on the wildfire threat yet. Yeah, I know with the warm season coming up, though, with all that rain out in California and the West, that means more vegetation this season for the wildfire season. So eventually, all that stuff, some of it at least, is going to dry up, and that could provoke some more fires, some wildfires out west. So that's something to watch. It's so nice hearing someone not from Ohio pronouncing Chillicothe correctly, like Chillicothe. Most people. Oh yeah, well, I'm from the Midwest, so maybe I still have a little bit of the. But there's a Chillicothe in Illinois too. It's down near Peoria. That's in central Illinois, so maybe that's why I know how to pronounce it. But yeah, maybe. I'm glad I pronounced it right for you. We're getting heavy rain and lightning right now. Terry says, where are you at? Are you in southern Missouri, around the Springfield area as well, Terry? Yeah, this is a real nasty supercell. So if you live in Duncan, Oklahoma here, man, this is continuing to push off to the east northeast here. Um, this did have a capability of like some ping pong ball size, even tennis ball size hail earlier on, but still is capable of producing more of that, say, 60-mile-an-hour wind and half dollar size hail right now. Then we got that storm north of Lawton that moved through Fort Sill. That's going to be pushing up there toward the Tuttle region. This is actually going to be approaching the Oklahoma City area. So if you live there toward El Reno, Yukon, Mustang, Tuttle, the Minco region in the western side of the Oklahoma City metro area, you're most likely going to start to see some of these storms pushing in rather soon. And these could be severe for you as well with 60-mile-an-hour winds and that 1-inch quarter size hail. Yeah, that's all right, Ashley. There's a Chillicothe. There's probably a lot more Chillicothe's than just Illinois and Ohio, but yeah, I just know how to pronounce it because there's one just like I think Chillicothe from here where I live in northern Illinois is about 2 hours south of me. So I guess I see it every day when I do the radar analysis when there's severe weather in Illinois. So I guess I just know how to pronounce it. Oh, you are Terry. You're in southern Missouri and Hillsboro, Missouri. All right. Yeah, you're probably seeing some heavy rain up there as well. Again, zooming it out, this is the area to watch. This is in the pink here, these pink boxes, those are all the counties in the severe thunderstorm watch. From southern Missouri, northwestern Arkansas, east central portions of Oklahoma, and north and northwest Texas here. This includes Oklahoma City, just southeast of Tulsa here, getting back toward Wichita Falls, Vernon, Texas, Burke Burnett, and then getting northwest of the Dallas Fort Worth Metroplex. This includes Rogers, Fayetteville, Fort Smith, Arkansas, up here toward the Mountain Home region, Eureka Springs in Arkansas, Ozark, Branson, Missouri, getting in towards West Plains, up there just south and east of the Springfield region. Salem, Sherrill, all those areas there are in effect with that severe thunderstorm watch until 11 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Can I zoom into what? Southern Missouri? Sure, yeah, I sure can. I'm not even sure where the Hillsboro region is here. Let me look for where the Hillsboro region is, and I could zoom into where that is for you. I'm guessing it's probably southeast of Springfield. Let me look here. Oh, you're southwest of St. Louis there? All right, yeah, you got that stronger storm pushing up closer to your area, or just maybe south of you. Let's see. Switch over to the St. Louis radar. See if I can find Hillsboro here. It's got to be somewhere close. You got. Okay. Yeah, you're seeing some very heavy rainfall down here, into say like the Festus, Missouri area, into DeSoto, Park Hills, Farmington. You got the severe warning down here into the Ironton, Fredericktown region for 18 more minutes. Public source of 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and 1-inch quarter-size hail here. Um, for Fredericktown, Junction City, and Cobalt, they're into southeastern and extreme southeastern Missouri at that. So that will be going in effect until about 9 o'clock, 9:15 in southeastern Iron, Madison, and southeastern Francois County. Hopefully I pronounced that right as well. And that storm will be approaching I-55 there in Extreme. You're in that zone there, Terry, for flash flooding. Not so much severe weather, but flash flooding is the main concern up there for your area. You're going to see a lot of heavy rain tonight, and it's going to be heavy rain all night. So, cumulatively, as the night goes on, the ground's going to saturate in a lot of those low-lying areas. Those creeks, rivers, streams, all those areas that waterways are going to fill up there. So you want to be well aware of that. So if you have a flash flood warning, seek higher ground there if you live in southeastern Missouri. Definitely seek higher ground. Very important to do that. Because I can see, let's see how much rainfall has already fallen here. With the last hour here already, we've seen from St. Louis back there towards the Salem area there in towards Missouri. We've already seen an inch, some areas over an inch of rain already. So like an inch and a tenth there. So a lot of rain already has fallen, and we got a lot more to go here. And let me look here real quick. I'm gonna go to one of the weather models. Let's look at the HRRR model. Actually, let's look at the HRRR here, and let's see. This is just going through 8 o'clock on Friday. So this is going from now through 8 o'clock in the evening tomorrow night. And this is how much rainfall you can expect. A fairly substantial amount too, though, if it decides to load. Only if it decides to load. You know how that goes, guys. Today. Let's see if it's gonna load if I change it over here. All right. This is some of the rainfall expected. Again, in these yellow shaded colors, we could have 1 to 3 inches here of rain across southeastern Missouri. If you get down here toward like the Fredericktown region, where we're already seeing the warning here for severe weather, towards like the Piedmont area, Poplar Bluff there, and towards southeastern Missouri, Cape Girardeau, we can see some isolated totals up to 5, 6, 7 inches. Well south of St. Louis, and this is just from now through just tomorrow, through tomorrow night and into Saturday morning. So within the next 24 to 48 hours, we're seeing over half a foot of rain in a lot of these areas. You're in St. Charles, the yellow dot. Oh, gotcha. All right. So that is how much rain we're seeing. So we're going to put a tracker on the storm there from Fredericktown. The storm's moving to the east at 40 miles an hour, 60-mile-an-hour winds, quarter-size hail. I would imagine the storm it's been holding its own. We'll see if it weakens. But if it does not, we're going to put a tracker on this here all the way to the Illinois state line here. So if you live in the Higdon area into Missouri in 7 minutes, if you live in the Hans Mill area in 7 minutes as well, the Yount area in 17 minutes, North Patton, Missouri in 19 minutes, Alliance in 20 minutes, Bollinger Mill in about 24 minutes, and then if it holds on to the Licksville area and also the Sedgwickville area in 27 to 28 minutes here, and it's going to be affecting almost 1,300 people there with this storm in the next half an hour. So we definitely will be watching out for that during that next half hour. So with this storm, let's move back down into Texas to track these storms here. We're going to be seeing a lot of these warnings starting to fire up here this evening. You can see a lot of these storms are pushing from North Texas into southern and central Oklahoma. So like the Oklahoma City area, be ready. You're going to see a lot more numerous thunderstorms, maybe some severe storms coming up here within the next hour or two. That is certainly something we're watching for you guys. South Oklahoma City, that's mainly the area we're watching right now. And then again, we still got the warning just to the west southwest of Wichita Falls that's producing some hail and some gusty winds there as well. Yeah, all eyes are on the radar here for northwest Texas and to southern Oklahoma here and central Oklahoma too this evening. Yeah, I know. Well, I need to. I have a Discord server. I just haven't got it set up too much yet. But yeah, that's probably something like as my channel keeps growing, I'll probably add on. I probably should have one. I think I'm going to be working on that probably this weekend. I'll have a Discord server, hopefully getting going, so we can have more conversations with you guys and the audience on my Discord server. So hopefully, like I said, this weekend into like early next week, we could start doing more of that. I'm by St. Louis. My aunt's. Oh, your aunt is down in Fredericktown. All right. Yeah, there's a dangerous storm moving through there with some damaging winds and hail. Just generally, just some 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail in Fredericktown. Hey, Hossein, thanks for joining. Was just storming here a bit ago. Where are you at, Hossein? Are you in Texas or Oklahoma or what? You think it's raining in Chillicothe, huh? Sounds like it. I think you would be correct there, Ashley. Yeah, there's some pretty heavy rain, and it's going to be pushing up in towards your area. It looks like the heaviest of the rain south of Chillicothe, but it's going to be rainy there for a while. The rain goes all the way back from Chillicothe, where it just started raining, all the way back to just east of Cincinnati. So probably a couple hours worth of a steady, moderate rain for you there in towards southern Ohio. A nice soaking rain for the next couple of hours, at least. Yeah, we got another storm developing. Again, that's going to be the theme. We're going to have more storms kicking off here right off that boundary as it gets closer to the DFW area here. And you see, you know what's very interesting here? See the storm up near Seymour? It's moving more left to right across the screen from west to east, kind of this way. But then the storm here, right along the boundary, is moving more northeast. So that already shows you how much wind shear there is in the atmosphere here this evening. So there you go. Shays, you're in Peoria, Illinois. You're not too far from me. I actually live in northern Illinois, about an hour north of I-80. So I live up near Rockford, Illinois. Yep, Rockford, Illinois, I live up near. The Peoria, Illinois right now. Let's see what's happening up here. All the heavy rain is to your south. Very quiet there into Peoria, Illinois. The Bloomington Normal area, Canton, Galesburg, you guys are all quiet. All the heavy rain is farther south. So like St. Louis, O'Fallon, Alton, mainly south of I-74 there and south of Highway 34 and towards southern Illinois there. I'm going to turn on some of the flash flood alerts to see if we have any flash flood warnings here too while we're on here. Yeah, plenty of them. Wow. All right. Yeah, we got widespread. Look at that, guys. We already got widespread flash flooding ongoing, or at least flash flood warnings with flash flooding occurring soon. I know it's all kind of jumbled in here, but you got a lot of greens, lime green showing up in here. So if you live in northeast Oklahoma, extreme northwestern Arkansas near the Rogers, Fayetteville region, and then on up there toward the Springfield, Ozark area, south of Joplin, Missouri, yeah, we're seeing some flash flood warnings, widespread flash flood warnings, where we have seen multiple inches of rain, and that will continue through the night. For example, 1 to 3 inches of rain has already fallen. Additionally, 1 to 2 inches of rain are possible in the flooded areas into the Rogers and the Elm Springs and even the Fayetteville region into northwest Arkansas. A couple more inches on the way there. And I've already seen, 1 to 3 inches, and then we're seeing an additional 1 to 2 inches on top of that. The NOAA weather radio just went off in your area. We got a severe thunderstorm warning, or maybe sometimes I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Don't they? Can't you program them to have them go off during flash flood warnings as well? Again, I've never had a weather radio. I've always kind of relied on my smartphone or my laptop or something to wake me up at night when I have severe weather. And I do weather around here anyway, so I'm always aware of the weather anyway. But how long is this storm going to go in southern Missouri? For a while. It's not going to be stopping. And you got all the storms back here in say portions of northeast Oklahoma, northwest Arkansas, and southwest Missouri. So, like if, for example, if you live in the Springfield Ozarks region, you have a couple more hours to go because you got all this back here that still has to move up to the north and east. You have a ways yet. Again, the energy or the wind energy with this is basically parallel to the boundary. So you don't have a lot of eastward movement to these storms. They're moving over the very same areas here. That's what's dangerous about this flooding threat, and it really is. So look at some of the echo tops down here. Yeah, that's a pretty tall storm near the Duncan region into Oklahoma there. Yeah, still hitting up pretty high, about 44, 43, 46,000 feet I saw there just near the Duncan, Oklahoma region. And that's, whenever, like I said, whenever you get over 35, 40,000 feet, you're definitely talking about some big hail and capable of producing 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and 1 inch quarter size hail here into the Duncan, Oklahoma region right now. That is the concern. Windergy, wind energy, Windergy. There you go, Hossein. You live in southern Missouri, Hossein? What's coming to Alton, Missouri, near West Plains? It's dry and still dry here so far. Alton, Missouri. Is this Alton, Missouri right here? Or is that in Illinois? I see Alton, Illinois. There's West Alton. That's in Missouri. If that's what you're talking about, is it near St. Louis? I gotta look this up now. Alton, Missouri. I see Alton, Illinois. Oh, okay, no, that's in far southern Missouri. Okay, so wrong area. Alton. Oh, there's West Plains right here. You're in the severe thunderstorm watch till 11 o'clock there. It looks like there's storms just to your northwest. There's the West Plains area. Where did you say you were relative to West Plains? I already forgot. Oh, you're near West Plains. So yeah, there's storms just to your north and northwest. I think this will be pushing in probably within the next few hours. It'll be a while yet. We still got all the rain back into northeastern Oklahoma. All this will be eventually slowly pushing off to the east. And again, you're under, I think, that threat, moderate threat for flash flooding. Yeah, you're in the moderate risk for flash flooding in the Alton and West Plains, Missouri area tonight. And then even into the day on Friday, you're under that again. So you're under that highest risk for flash flooding. So watch out there in the Alton region. We need just 4 more likes to get to 200 likes even, guys. Can we get 4 more thumbs up down below? That would be much appreciated. Yeah, but all in all, we're not seeing a lot of severe weather. Just kind of some pockets of severe weather. Like we got a pocket of severe weather up into southeastern Missouri. We got a pocket of severe weather down here into like southern and southwestern Oklahoma, North Texas. But other than that, it's not too terribly active. Besides the real heavy flash flooding going on potentially overnight tonight. Other than that, there's nothing really too severe tonight. I mean, there is some hail. There is some there is a lot of hail. There is some high winds from time to time, but a lot of the big hail is starting to wind down a little bit, which is some good news. But we still do have this severe thunderstorm watch till 11 o'clock this evening. We'll be tracking as well. Again, thanks guys for all the likes out there. 207 likes. Keep pressing that thumbs up button, guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Thank you guys. Again, this channel would not be itself, would not be like it is without you guys. So I definitely appreciate all the help on here. Again, the more help we can get, the more of this we can spread all this information out on the platform. The more likes we get, the more subscribers we get, the bigger the channel gets, the more, it definitely helps. So I thank you, all you guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, just joining, press the thumbs up down below. Subscribe if you're new and hit the notification bell. Much appreciated. We're just tracking some severe weather down here. The warning just expired for Duncan. We're still seeing a supercell here. We still have to watch for some isolated tornadoes. Like you see these appendages here. I'll stop the radar from being in motion real quick to show you. We have a little bit of kind of an inflow notch here. It's not really that strong, but you always have to be concerned about that because we don't have a lot of convection to the east of the system. So you still have to watch that. There's a lot of free space that is over here, so it can eat up a lot of the inflow and start to rotate, but we don't see that quite yet. And I can look at the storm relative velocity and all that stuff. And again, there's not really any rotation, and of course we're close to the radar. Yeah, there's not really any rotation to worry about here into the Duncan region. Just some gusty winds, some 60-mile-per-hour winds, and some hail. Yeah, and this is kind of an idea of where the hail is with these storms. This is what is called vertically integrated liquid. And what this is basically at the cloud itself, the base of the cloud, it kind of shows where the liquid is. And you obviously, that high up in the atmosphere, it turns to hail because of all the ice crystals up that way. So you can kind of see where the hail is with this. And the brighter the color, the more of the damaging hail there is. So you can see there's a little bit of a hail core here just to the west southwest of Wichita Falls. And this probably passes to the south of Wichita Falls, so say toward the Scotland Henrietta region, but we'll still have to watch you guys up here into Wichita Falls over the next half hour or so as the storm progresses to the east northeast. This is for northern Archer County in North Texas until 10 p.m. this evening. A severe thunderstorm was located over Dundee, Texas, moving east-northeast at 45 miles per hour. Again, just 60-mile-an-hour winds and quarter-size hail here. Holiday, Scotland, Dundee, Mankins, the Lake Kickapoo, the northeastern Lake Diversion, and Lakeside City, Texas area will watch out for some large hail with that storm. And of course, from time to time, these storms farther south and west have gone severe, warned, but on and off, though. I mean, some of these storms strengthen, they weaken, they strengthen again, they weaken. It's just kind of a process that goes on with these storms. And of course, we'll be keeping an eye on it. But so far, much of the action has been in Texas or really in towards Missouri. Another severe warning. So if you live in Springfield, Missouri, or just south of Springfield, there's a new severe thunderstorm warning. I was watching the storm earlier here. And if you live in the Ozark region, we have a severe thunderstorm warning into southwestern Webster County, Christian County, northeastern Stone County, and southeastern Greene County. This is all in southwest Missouri. A severe thunderstorm was located over Highlandville, moving northeast quickly at 55 miles an hour. This is in effect until 9:45 p.m. Central Daylight Time here within the next half hour or so. And this is for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and 1-inch quarter-size hail. So get ready for this if you live in southeastern Springfield. So if you live on the southeast side of the city of Springfield, watch out for this storm. Nixa, Ozark, Rogersville, Cleaver, Sparta, Highlandville, Fremont Hills, Fordland, Spokane, Elkhead, Brunner, Selmore, all these areas here are impacted by this storm with 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail within the next half an hour. So watch that. That goes in effect until 9:45. All right. And I know we have some people in stream near the Springfield region. We'll be watching you guys here as well. It's probably a smaller town there, Katerina. That's probably why. Yeah, the lightning's crazy, Terry. Yeah, it's going to be like that all night. So get ready for a lot of rumbles of thunder, a lot of heavy rain. So if you guys like thunderstorms down in southern Missouri, this is the type of weather for you per se. So get ready for it. A lot of heavy rain tonight. A lot of lightning. A lot of possibly some flooding, unfortunately, but hopefully not too bad of flooding. We'll watch that. You're in Nixa. It's pretty crazy. Yeah, you got a severe thunderstorm warning in the Nixa region for 60-mile-per-hour winds. That's right. There's Nixa right there, and it's moving. There's Nixa there. There's Ozark not too far away, and it's going to be pushing into Ozark, Sparta, up there toward the Fordland region soon, and then right over Highway 60. So we're going to be seeing that within the next few minutes or so. So so let's put this in motion for you guys. This is moving off to the north and east. And even after that storm in Springfield there and the Ozark region, we're going to see more storms. We just continue to see this low-level jet just advect a lot of this moisture farther north. And kind of we're just wringing it out like a sponge this evening. And you can see that across southwest Missouri. That's what we're seeing. Jason, are we going to have to worry about anything in Stone Mountain or Atlanta tomorrow? In Atlanta tomorrow, are you talking about? You're talking about Atlanta, Georgia, I would imagine, right? Here's the risk for tomorrow. All overall, this is the categorical outlook from the Storm Prediction Center. The Atlanta metro area is at right now a 0 out of 5. So right now you're just at a normal general thunderstorm risk there in Atlanta. But going in towards the day on, say, Saturday, right now the Atlanta metro area and southward toward Macon, Georgia, Atlanta metro over there to South Carolina, southeastern Alabama, northwestern Florida there like Tallahassee, Pensacola, Panama City, those areas, Apalachicola. You guys are under that level 1 of 5, that that marginal severe weather threat where you could see some 60-mile-per-hour winds, some quarter-size hail, maybe a spin-up tornado or two. That's mainly for Saturday. So Saturday morning and the afternoon, watch that there around midday in Atlanta. But yeah, the strongest severe weather will be well west of Atlanta, just a lower end threat on Saturday. I hope that answered your question. Yeah, we're still watching that severe thunderstorm warning here. The new warning that just came out there just a few minutes ago for the Ellington and Annapolis region near the D-Arc or Des-Arc region here into southeastern Missouri. This is, again, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, but a little stronger with the hail core. This system, half dollar size hail is the concern here. Moving east at 35 miles an hour, warning till 10 p.m. Central Time. So if you live in southeastern Iron County and central Reynolds County in southeast Missouri, this is the concern. This also includes Annapolis. All right. Yeah, real nasty squall line or a little storm moving through here in the Nixa, Ozark, and Springfield region, especially south of the immediate downtown area of Springfield. We're seeing a pretty nasty little line of storms pushing through with some 60-mile-an-hour winds, maybe even some quarter-size hail here. And that'll be pushing up toward the Seymour area, Mansfield, and Hartville, and towards portions of southern Missouri rather soon. So if you live in those areas, get ready. A severe thunderstorm will be moving in shortly. You're welcome, Jason. No worries. Yeah, if you guys have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I'm always on here to answer all your questions for you throughout the evening here. Yeah, if you guys don't know, keep pressing that like button, and we're only 20 subscribers away from 25,500 subscribers on my channel here at Weather on the Go. So if you guys want to subscribe, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel, consider pressing that subscribe button down below here, the live stream, to help out and support this channel. I definitely appreciate it. To give back to you guys, since you guys subscribe to the channel, I will give you guys daily weather forecast updates every single morning for the most part here at 9 a.m. I cover southern Canada, the United States, and the tropics. And it's a very detailed weather forecast. I look at the big picture. We also look at the long range weather forecast here. We do a lot of cool things. At the first of every month, I put a monthly weather forecast out for you guys, usually at the first of every month. And I'll be putting my summer outlook out for 2023 on May 10th. Okay, so May 10th of 2023, that's when my summer outlook will come out on this channel. So consider subscribing, and definitely is much appreciated. Your son is crying. Oh no. You didn't like the thunder? You have to turn up the TV or something so he doesn't hear the thunder. He's crying. I really want some thunder, and this month is almost over. What a shame. Well, again, it's early spring. Just wait a little longer. I think a lot of these areas, especially if you live in like the upper Midwest, it's been really cold lately. You haven't had a lot of chances for thunderstorms. And of course, you have that winter storm on the northern side. So like if you wake up in the morning in eastern Iowa, northern Illinois, the places here, I'll just circle it for you. In these areas like up here, don't be surprised to wake up to some heavy snowfall going in towards that Saturday morning time frame. Maybe just on grassy surfaces, but late season snowfall up there toward Milwaukee, Green Bay, Madison, Wisconsin, Chicago, into portions of northern lower Michigan, the UP of Michigan. Yeah, a lot of those areas are going to see some late season snow there and towards portions of those areas going into Saturday morning. So 1 to 3 inches of snow on grassy surfaces mainly, but we still could see some accumulations, some slushy accumulations on the roads at times. So watch out for that. Slow down and you don't have to drive fast on the snow. I know these late season snow events kind of catch people off guard, but just slow down and leave plenty of space here in between cars in front of you. And let the snow plows clean off the roads. $90, really the first. Are you live in the southeast, Rain Maves? 90 degrees. You must live in like Florida or something. Crazy. It's going to be a hot summer, I'll tell you that, guys. The stuff I'm looking at, again, it's far out, but yeah, it looks like a hot summer. Pretty dry summer, too, if you live in the Central Plains. I know you guys are already in like an extreme and exceptional drought there, but Yeah, it's gonna get worse before it gets better. You know, there's not much drought in California anymore on the West Coast because they have gotten absolutely crushed by heavy rain, snow, and wind and all that stuff with these endless storms. It seems like they actually had a tornado outside of Los Angeles. Yeah, they actually did yesterday in Southern California. So very interesting stuff. You're down in Florida. I used to live in Florida in the Naples region. I'm 22 years old right now, but yeah, when I was younger, when I was like 10, 12 years old, I used to live in Florida. And we moved back. I moved back to Northern Illinois, and that's where I'm at now. I live up near the Chicagoland area. So we got that warning still near and south of Wichita Falls. This is, again, a warning for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, okay? And quarter size hail. That's that 1 inch hail. That's a criteria for severe hail. Northern Archer County until 10 p.m. this evening for the next 38 minutes or thereabout, all right? So if you live in Holiday, Scotland, Dundee, Mankins, the Lake Kickapoo area, northeastern Lake Diversion, and Lakeside City, want to definitely be on the lookout for some severe weather there. Yeah, I don't know if Ashley's still in the stream. Ashley Leith. I was going to ask you if you had a lot of. Have you had a lot of rain in Ohio lately? Because if you have a lot of rain in Ohio lately and you have the saturated ground already, you're going to have more heavy rain into the day on Friday. So that's just going to add to the flooding risk in your area there in southern Ohio. So that's something to watch out for, especially like if you live near a river, creek, stream, stuff like that, low lying area like in a valley. Wheeling, Ohio? I'm not exactly sure. Let me look where Wheeling, Ohio is for you real quick. Let's see here. Wheeling, Ohio. Oh, so you're in like you're oh I put Wheeling, West Virginia. Whoops. I'm at Wheeling, Ohio, my bad. Wheeling, Ohio is in eastern Ohio, right? You're going to be seeing some rainfall on Friday and Saturday. No severe weather expected for you though. So that's some good news. At least you don't have to deal with the severe weather, but is Arkansas going to get hit with storms tomorrow? Yes. Arkansas is under an enhanced and moderate risk of severe weather tomorrow in Arkansas. This is the risk in Arkansas. So if you're in the yellow, you have a slight risk, a 2 out of 5. In the orange shaded color, that's a little bit of the middle of the road category. That's a 3 out of 5. And if you are in the red, that's the highest risk of severe weather so far that we have. That's a level 4 out of 5. And there's a possibility, like I was mentioning earlier, if you're new to the stream, that this could be upgraded to a high risk potentially tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. This would probably be in the tri state area of like extreme southeastern Arkansas, northeastern Louisiana, to west central portions of Mississippi, if that did occur. But right now, yes, there is a moderate risk there into southeastern Arkansas, central and eastern Arkansas. There's an enhanced risk, and then that drops off considerably as you get up toward like the Fayetteville region, for example. You're not even in a severe risk tomorrow. The heavy rainfall will be helping you out there. Is Little Rock, Arkansas going to get hit? Yes, Little Rock, you are right in the middle of that enhanced risk. You actually have a chance for a violent, strong, long track tornado tomorrow. So if you have a chance of an EF2 or stronger type of tornado tomorrow, some hurricane force wind gusts up to around 80, 90 miles an hour, and also the 1 to 2 inch hail potential. So some damaging hail up there possible in Little Rock. This mainly be in the afternoon and evening hours, so watch out there. But there could also be some severe weather at times in the morning. You're welcome, Bambi. Thank you for joining. Absolutely, yes. Prayers for the people with the storm. Certainly. Hopefully tomorrow doesn't pan out like it looks like. Hopefully we just have another bust for severe weather. We don't have anything that happens, but we have to warn you guys because we want everybody to stay safe out there. Yeah, you guys, again, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel. Press the subscribe button down below. We're only 15 subscribers away from 25,500. We're at 25,485 currently right now. So thanks to all the new subscribers that have just subscribed recently. I'll be having a new update for you. We're going to focus mainly on the short term tomorrow's video. So we're going to focus mainly on the severe weather threat. We'll look ahead a little bit, but I think like I normally look at the long range forecast at the end of my videos in the morning that I post at 9 a.m. But mainly I'm going to be looking at tomorrow's risk since it's such a heightened day for severe weather. We're going to really hone in on that and so everybody stays safe. All right. So but on Saturday, we'll go more into the long-term weather forecast a little bit. Okay, but on this channel, I don't like to go too far out. But again, I think it's always good to go and look at the big picture of say like 1 to 2 weeks out to kind of give you a general like forecast and an idea of what you can expect over the next 7 to 14 days and stuff like that to kind of plan out your week or the next week's time frame. I know a lot of channels don't like doing that on YouTube, and again, it is kind of sometimes like throwing a salt out there, kind of a grain of salt, so to speak. But looking at the long range pattern into the like week 1, week 2, like maybe up to 14 days out is helpful, especially if you have vacations planned or anything like that or traveling. It does help. So, of course, it's not always accurate. The longer out you go, it's less accurate, of course, but it certainly is helpful with looking at trends. Like I always say, trends are your friend. You're on the edge of what? The moderate risk, Catherine? Yeah, that's if you're anywhere in the orange or red on this map, you are in the threat for a tornado outbreak tomorrow for sure. Even in the yellow, you still have a really good chance of tornadoes. So, but yeah, if anywhere in this white shaded color I'm circling, anywhere in this white shaded color I'm circling there, you have a threat for strong, violent, and long track tornadoes tomorrow. And if not, widespread damaging winds and large hail. And, of course, that comes along with thunderstorms, heavy rain, and frequent lightning. Plenty of storms. What the spring? Yeah, there's gonna be plenty more storms coming that have chances of storms. Possibly more severe weather next week. Again, another Thursday, Friday setup that could be severe again. Central Southern Plains, and then maybe into the Ohio Valley, maybe north into the end of the month to like the March 30th, 31st time frame next Thursday and Friday. Again, that's too far out to know for sure, but the Storm Prediction Center has already highlighted in their day 4 through 8 outlook that they put out at 4 o'clock in the morning every morning that they could introduce a slight risk or maybe low end probabilities of severe weather across some of those areas from the southern and central plains to the Ohio Valley. So we'll be waiting and watching for that. A lot of time between now and then, things can change. Again, if you're living in Wichita Falls right now, we're watching the storm. Really heavy rain moving into the western side of Wichita Falls. So, like the Iowa Park region, Burke Burnett, you guys are really starting to see some heavy rainfall, some hail. Looks like the strongest part of this storm is going to move either right over Wichita Falls or just to your south there, right along Highway 281 or just along Highway 82 there into the Wichita Falls region. So that is the concern. And this storm is concerning this storm with the hazards is 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. This again until 10 o'clock. So another half an hour with the warning here for near the just south of Wichita Falls. Yeah, look at the blowup of thunderstorms just here on the recent couple of radar scans back to the west here, just northwest of Abilene, Texas. There's been a lot of a decent squall line trying to set up here. This will certainly be producing some very heavy rainfall and definitely will be producing a lot of potentially some hail if this starts to grow a little bit stronger. So we'll wait and see if that starts to produce some warnings here within the next 10-20 minutes or so. All right. just joining, consider hitting that like button, the thumbs up button down below, subscribe if you're new, and again, of course, hit the notification bell so you get future live streams. I will be going live tomorrow, but not on this channel. If I do go live on this channel, it'll be late evening, overnight. I think I'm going live with a guy on YouTube. His name is Pow Ponder on Weather. He has another weather channel here just like mine on YouTube, and I'm going to be going live, kind of doing a joint panel with him tomorrow. So if you're new and don't know about that, that is what I'll be doing tomorrow. Usually during higher end severe weather days, that's kind of what I do. It's just kind of, I go on his channel sometimes and join him and help him out with storm reports and looking at live radar analysis and stuff like that. Some info, Northeast Ohio, tons of rain. Yeah, there's probably, there's a chance. I wouldn't say tons of rain in Northeast Ohio, but there's a chance for some decent rains there. Like Cleveland to Akron, you guys could see some decent rains there over the next couple of days as the storm deepens and moves toward your area. So that is the concern. So yeah, tomorrow is the main day, the main show for severe weather. That is the main concern tomorrow. Okay, so if you live up in anywhere in the deep South, whether it's in Kentucky, whether it's in Tennessee, the Gulf Coast, like New Orleans, you please be weather aware, guys. We want to be safe. All right. If you have a basement, storm shelter. If you have a tornado warning, I know a lot of people always say, "Well, it's just a tornado warning. It never happens. We never have a tornado." Well, you got to think a tornado is very small, and if it's moving so quickly, and say, for example, tomorrow is the day that the tornado warning is actually the real thing, that is not going to turn out well for you if you don't heed the warning and take shelter in a basement or storm shelter, or put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Again, of course, stay away from windows. We just kind of preach that to you and kind of like to be repetitive because we want everybody to stay safe out there tomorrow, especially on these higher end severe weather days. But all tornado warnings need to be taken seriously. So, whether or not you have a marginal risk with the tornado warning or a high risk with a tornado warning for severe weather, you really still need to heed the warning either way. Do you know how bad the storms are going to get tomorrow and today? Yes, they are going to be today pretty intense already. We've seen some ping pong ball size hail actually into North Texas. A couple of these storms that have now weakened as they moved into Oklahoma area here into central Oklahoma. Um, they have been capable of producing tennis ball size hail earlier on, and they still are capable of producing 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts here, like in the Wichita Falls region or just south of there. So we're watching that. We've had some hail and some wind damage up here into southern portions of Missouri. But tomorrow is a whole different ball game. We have widespread tornadoes possible, possibly a full-blown tornado outbreak. Okay, so we have a full-blown tornado outbreak tomorrow, potentially with double digits. I can count on probably three hands of potentially, if everything comes together, that's how many tornadoes we could have. Double digits in the tornado range tomorrow of the number of tornadoes, if everything comes together right. Okay, like I say, you can't bake a cake and not put frosting on it, right? So if you don't have the frosting, like we don't have one or two ingredients tomorrow, that throws off the entire outbreak and it could be a bust. So hopefully that's the case. Hopefully we have more cloud cover than expected. Hopefully we don't see as much sunshine tomorrow, because the more, to be quite honest with you guys, the more sunshine we see tomorrow is not a good thing, because if you think, well, it's nice and sunny in the morning, no, that is not good. You do not want to see any sunshine tomorrow, whether it's in the morning, the afternoon, or the early evening. You do not want to see any sunshine tomorrow in this area, because that will destabilize the atmosphere, and that will make the atmosphere more prime for violent tornadoes, large hail, damaging winds, and just thunderstorms in general. So that would not be a good thing. So tomorrow's the day that you expect, you really want it to be gloomy and cloudy outside and kind of rainy and drizzly and all that stuff. You want it to be kind of a damp day. You don't want it to be really bright and sunny and warm out, because that would actually add to what is already a big day outside expected for tomorrow for severe weather. Yeah, Natchez, Mississippi, you are in a moderate risk. So you're in the highest risk for tornadoes, large hail, and damaging winds tomorrow. Yep. It's not a guarantee. And again, I'll say this for you guys. Let me put the Storm Prediction Center outlook out for you guys just to kind of show you what I'm talking about here. So with a moderate risk, it doesn't mean that just because you're in a moderate risk doesn't mean that you're it's a slam dunk. You're already going to see severe weather and you're going to see a violent tornado. It just means within the moderate risk area or even the enhanced risk area in the orange here, there is a decent chance that somewhere in those areas there will be at least a couple of events that could turn out to be strong tornadoes, large hail producers up to 2 inch in diameter and hurricane force wind gusts. It doesn't mean every single square mile within that entire risk area will be hit very hard. It just means the probability of those of weather events of violent tornadoes that are on the ground for a long time, large hail, damaging winds that could be over hurricane, like hurricane force, 75 plus mile hour winds, um, is more likely in those areas. So, for example, if I'm looking at the outlook here and I'm saying, well, Jackson, Mississippi is in the moderate risk. Well, we're probably going to see a EF4 tornado tomorrow. Well, no, that's not the truth. It just means the probability is higher for an EF4 or maybe a strong tornado tomorrow. It doesn't mean you're going to see one. Okay, so hopefully that makes more sense to you guys. The chance is higher. It just doesn't mean you're going to see it. And to be quite honest with you guys, about 80% of you guys tomorrow, and probably even more than that, honestly, like 95% of you guys in this entire risk area tomorrow will not even see a tornado, probably. Okay? Just the 5% that do or more, depending on how widespread the tornado risk, the tornadoes are tomorrow, depends on how many supercells we get. Those 5 to 10%, it could be very dangerous, to be quite honest. You could have EF2 to EF5 tornadoes. Those are dangerous tornadoes. So that's why we warn you days ahead of time, and that's why the Storm Prediction Center has upgraded that to a moderate risk, because we need you guys to stay well aware of the forecast. We got an extension here to the warning up here and towards Missouri. We got a new severe thunderstorm warning. This is east now of Springfield. This is for places like Seymour, Hartville, Mansfield. You guys are in the path of severe storms. Southern Webster County, Wright County, northwestern Douglas County here at 9:36 p.m. Central Time. A severe thunderstorm is located near Fordland, Missouri, or 15 miles east of Ozark, Missouri, and this is racing to the northeast at 55 miles an hour here. 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. That 1-inch hail is likely until 10:15 p.m. Central Daylight Time here. So areas impacted: Mountain Grove, Rogersville, Seymour, Mansfield, Fordland, Dawson, Norwood, Hartville, Duncan, Diggins, Maines, Graff, Dogwood, and Odin. All those areas are impacted by this warning until 10:15 Central Time. So heed the warning here. Stay away from windows, move inside, and take shelter from this storm. All right. Yeah, guys, we just need 11 more subscribers. 11 more subscribers to get to 25,500. So if you have not yet subscribed, consider hitting that subscribe button down below and press that thumbs up button. Let's try to get to 250 or even 300 likes on this live stream at least. Would be amazing, guys. So keep pressing that thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel if you're new. And also hit the notification bell so you get notified for future live streams that I do. Again, just new here. I will be live tomorrow, but not on this channel necessarily. I will be going live with a panel of. I'm going to be going live on Pow Ponder on Weather. I'm going to be joining him live on his YouTube channel. So you can type in on Google Pow Ponder on Weather. I'll be going live with him tomorrow afternoon starting at 4 p.m. Central Time. So you guys can find me there. I'll be doing an audio and stuff in the background talking about storm reports, looking at real-time radar with them, and just kind of warning you guys ahead of the storm tomorrow. I don't mean to sound like a broken record, but for all the new people joining here, I just want to let them know that. Now we're down to 8 people, so we can get 8 more people to subscribe. We'll be at 25,500. Again, thank you guys so much. Thanks to all the new subscribers. Um, I do daily videos, very detailed. Southern Canada, the United States, the tropics. Very detailed weather forecast. Probably the most accurate weather forecast on YouTube here on this channel. So I will tell you that. I pride myself on being accurate, so I hope to keep that. We still got a severe warning here just as north of Piedmont, Missouri. This is in southeastern Missouri here. This is for 60-mile-per-hour winds and quarter-size hail. This is like located over the Annapolis, Missouri region. It's not moving as quick as it was before, but it's still moving northeast at 40 miles an hour. So Annapolis, Des Arc, Sabula, and Vulcan. That's the area we have to watch out for here. And if you guys are wondering what this pink outline is with all these counties in here, from southern Missouri into northwest Arkansas, including the Fayetteville, Fort Smith areas, southeast of Tulsa, the Oklahoma City metro area, Norman, Moore, Oklahoma down here, Shawnee, Wichita Falls, Vernon, Texas. These areas, that's a severe thunderstorm watch. Conditions are favorable for the development of severe thunderstorms in that environment. So if you're living right now in Wichita Falls, we're seeing some extremely heavy rainfall pushing through right now. The storm is maybe even the hail core moving right over or near your area. Probably just a strong thunderstorm. It has weakened a little bit, but still some real heavy downpours. A lot of lightning here. Probably cloud to ground lightning moving through. Definitely a noisy night down here into the Wichita Falls region right now. Then we got more storms developing right off that boundary there, that dry line or cold front back to the west, southwest of Seymour, Texas, down toward the Abilene region, or just northwest of Abilene. Those will be pushing closer toward the DFW Metroplex well after midnight. So we're not expecting any severe weather or any storms into the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex in this area here until probably after midnight and more so after 3 o'clock in the morning. So if you live in, say, Denton, Texas, Fort Worth, Arlington, Dallas, McKinney, Plano, Sherman, up there toward Paris, Texas, and Denton, Texas, if I haven't named them already, yeah, you guys will already see the potential for that after 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. That's the threat for some severe weather and storms as it pushes closer to the DFW Metroplex. That is the concern going through the overnight hours. And once we hit 1 o'clock in the morning Central Time, the Storm Prediction Center will actually, that is when they will issue the day 1 categorical outlook for tomorrow. So we'll see any updates on that. I'm not sure really if I'll be live that long, but we will see. That's quite a few hours from now. Lady Swan, we're already having roads flood here in Wheeling, West Virginia. Really? Okay. Oh, you meant Wheeling, West Virginia. I was looking at Wheeling, Ohio earlier. My bad. That was my bad. Yeah, there's a lot of heavy rain there, and it's all the way back here too. It's into portions of southern Ohio, so there's no end in sight right now for the Wheeling area. So hopefully the flooding doesn't get too bad, but it looks like, yeah, there's a lot of rainfall on the way there still. So be safe. Don't drive on any flooded roadways. We got a severe thunderstorm warning on the western side of the Oklahoma City area. This is actually pushing up closer to Oklahoma City metro area itself. So like the Mustang, Tuttle, Minco, Yukon, and just east of El Reno, Oklahoma here. This is a severe thunderstorm warning capable of quarter-size hail. So just some some hailers out here, some thunderstorms producing hail. Northwestern Grady County, southeastern Canadian County, and central Oklahoma. Was located over the Minco region, moving northeast fairly quickly there at 50 miles an hour. Just watch out for some quarter-size hail with this. It's until 10:15. So like southwestern Oklahoma City metro area, El Reno, Yukon, Mustang, Tuttle, Union City, Minco, Amber, the Pocasset area, and then Richland, Oklahoma. That's the area to watch with this storm. I'm not sure what his Discord is, my friend. I'm not sure. Lady Swan says, "Yeah, it's gonna be bad for low-lying areas. That's what we were talking about earlier. You know, any low-lying areas and like valleys. If you live near a river, creek, and streams, I mean, uh, there's going to be some big rises on those area rivers and stuff up there into the Ohio. The Ohio River itself will probably rise fairly substantially going into this weekend because of all the rain up there. Some areas could be, receiving up to 6, 7, 8 inches of rain potentially just over the 3 day period here from today through Saturday and Sunday. So, going to be fairly impressive with some of the. It'd be interesting to see though how many, what the rainfall totals are once the system's all said and done. Consider pressing that like button, everybody. Let's try to get to 250 likes here in the next few minutes. If you're just joining, press that thumbs up button down below. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Consider subscribing. We're only 7 subscribers away from 25,500, guys. 7 people need to subscribe, and we'll be right there. We'll be at our goal for the day. My goal was to hit 25,500 for the day. Yeah, Ashley Leith, are you on the? You're still on here, right? I was going to ask you earlier, since you said you lived in Chillicothe, Ohio. I was going to ask, is have you had a lot of rainfall down in southern Ohio earlier on? Is it like ground pretty saturated? You probably, seen a lot of. It's raining right now, so you're probably going to see a lot of flooding up there into southern Ohio here within the next, couple of days. So watch out for that. Oh, you really can? Okay, you can see the Ohio River from your house. It's already wow. Okay, yeah, it's going to keep rising. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of flooding. There's already flooding because of the storm, Dark. Yeah. 2 hours until 1 a.m. Well, the three for me. I live in Central Time, so it's actually not even 10 o'clock p.m. yet. Eastern Time, yeah, it's almost 11 o'clock Eastern Time. It's actually 10:50 p.m. Eastern Time right now. Like if you live in like New York City or like Raleigh, North Carolina or something, yeah, it's almost 11 o'clock. But I don't know. I'll try to hang out as long as I can while the severe weather is going on. But if there's not like a lot going on here, like right now, there's not much. If we start to see a lot of these severe thunderstorm warnings collapse, I might just kind of end the stream and get ready for my video because I'm putting a video out for you guys tomorrow too. So I'm gonna be working on that very hard overnight. Usually it takes me about 4 or 5 hours to do a video for you guys, putting all the stuff together and looking at data, weather data, and I'll be doing that tomorrow for you. The video will come out at 9 a.m. Central Time, Central Daylight Time. I'm on a hill, so I'm not worried so much, but there's a lot of areas that will flood. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, especially when you say hill, if it's if there's a lot of valleys in your area. I know Ohio, there's a lot in West Virginia, especially near the Appalachians there. There's a lot of hills and, mountainous terrain and stuff like that. A lot of valleys, and certainly a lot of those areas can flood. I'd imagine this warning will probably expire here in the next 23 minutes, if not get canceled. There's still a threat for damaging winds here east of Springfield, but I think with it getting kind of caught up in this rainfall shield, it's going to start to move into more stable air. So if anything, it's going to probably produce more quarter size hail than wind, but we still could be seeing 60-mile-per-hour wind and quarter size hail here. It's still racing northeast at 55 miles an hour. So let's put a tracker on this storm here. Let's put a tracker on this. So if you live in Dawson, Missouri, this is moving in pretty much within the next minute or two, or right now as we speak. The Graff, Missouri area in about 5-6 minutes. Bendavis in about 9-10 minutes. The Huggins or Huggins region in 10 minutes. Upton in about 14 minutes. Dykes, Missouri in 15 minutes. Plum Valley up toward the Clara, Missouri region, that's in about 17 to 20 minutes. So if you live in those areas, could expect some 60-mile-per-hour winds and also some quarter size hail for you. Yes, I must be an hour behind you. You live in a trailer, so there's no place to go. Well, hopefully you don't have any tornadoes tomorrow. I have seen my road turn into a river. Yeah, well, yeah, I've seen that too. Well, I live in Northern Illinois. We've had a couple of heavy bursts of rain earlier on this season, with especially with the frozen ground, and if you have drought, it really makes it a lot of runoff. Sometimes you think with drought, the ground's so dry, it's just going to eat up all the moisture, but no, the dry ground actually makes it run off a lot more too. Because if you get a lot of heavy downpours, yeah, it makes it run off a lot more easier. A lot easier to run off that way. You survived the 2019 tornado, so I feel safe. Then, what was the 2019 tornado? What was that? That was in Florida? I'm not familiar with that one. Just a few years ago, but I'm not familiar. Guys, we're only 3 subscribers away. 3 subscribers away from 25,500. So if you would please consider hitting that subscribe button, press the thumbs up button down below so we get more people in the live stream. We're up to 236 likes. I would love to get to 250, if not 300 likes here by the time this live stream is over. So thank you so much for supporting the channel and subscribing, all the new subscribers, all the likes out there. Appreciate it. This is right now in where the radar is at now. This is actually Missouri. Oklahoma, there's severe weather, or at least there was earlier on. We still have a severe thunderstorm watch here for the Oklahoma City metro area. That warning has actually been allowed to expire or be canceled. So just seeing some heavy downpours in Oklahoma City, Norman up there toward Tulsa right now, but those are not severe. Those are sub-severe thunderstorms. So maybe some strong wind gusts below severe limits, but not seeing anything severe right now. And then we have a warning still hanging on here to the south of Wichita Falls, but I imagine that will be expiring within the next few minutes. Actually, let me see if they've already expired it. Let me refresh this real quick. Not quite yet. So I guess they're going to allow that to expire. But yeah, you see there's only 2 warnings left. So it's getting quieter now. It was busier earlier on. It's quieting down right now, so that's some good news. But we still have to watch out for this heavy rain up here toward the tri-state area of Oklahoma, northwestern Arkansas, and southwestern Missouri here over the next few hours. Yeah, you see all these purple and pinks over here. This is the higher elevation snow too. We have some very heavy snow back here across the Pacific Northwest. So if you're planning on going to a ski resort, there's going to be no lack of snow out here across the West going, over the next week or so. A lot of the Rocky Mountains, the I'm drawing a blank right now, guys. What's the? Oh man, I'm really drawing a blank right now. The Rocky Mountains, we're going to see a lot of heavy snow here. And then the mountains here into California as well. So that is what we're seeing over the next couple of days through the next week out west. A lot of heavy snow, the higher elevations. Let me see if I can switch over to this real quick. There we go. Now we can see the full radar. Actually, I'm going to change this. Whoops, that's not what I want. All right. So you can see the radar right along that entire boundary here. That's the name of the game. Very heavy rain and occasional severe thunderstorms here. And that's where most of this is going to stay through much of the rest of this evening and going back in towards the overnight hours. Is your snow melting? Out west? You said you're from Florida, I thought. The snow up to the out to the west is not melting, not yet. Snow in the upper Midwest might be a little bit, but not out west. And even if it is, there's more storms that'll replenish a lot of that moisture. So if any snow melt out west, it's going to be another storm will come along and produce more snow, even feet of snow. You know, that's the mountain range that I was trying to say. Sierra Nevadas. I don't know why I was drawing a blank earlier on. I don't know what was going on there. Probably all the severe weather talk here on this live stream. It's getting a little late for me. I got to get ready for my video here in the next, couple of hours. Yeah, if you guys want to follow me on Twitter, you guys can follow me. The link is in the description below. And it is also on the screen. You can follow me on Twitter at hweather420. I'll be retweeting a lot of pictures, videos, hail pictures, tornado, funnel cloud videos, anything weather related that comes out of tonight's storms and tomorrow as well. I'll be all very active on Twitter tomorrow. So if you guys want to join me on there, I will be live on Twitter with storm reports and stuff. So follow me on Twitter there at hweather420. And I also post when I'm going live as well. All right. Let me go to the Storm Prediction Center's page here. Again, I'm just going to keep it on this radar. There's really not much going on right now. There's only 2 warnings, and technically there's just really nothing going on because both those warnings are going to expire, it looks like. So, all right, so let's look at the storm reports here. We got a quarter-size hail reported there into Illinois, southwestern Illinois earlier on. We had quarter-size hail reported in Oklahoma and central Oklahoma there into Logan County. We had ping pong ball size hail actually in the parts of southwestern Oklahoma, closer to the Red River area there, in towards Wichita Falls. We had another report of ping pong ball size hail even in Missouri and Reynolds County earlier on. A tree down also in Pennsylvania from some of the stronger winds. We had a tree down reported in Douglas County in Missouri. An outbuilding was heavily damaged by thunderstorm damaging winds in Wichita, Texas, the Wichita County, Texas, near the Iowa Park region. That was with this storm down here earlier on. This big storm here actually produced an outbuilding that was just damaged heavily by this storm with the damaging winds. And then in Missouri, in Christian County, large tree blocking both lanes in Missouri here on Highway 125 or County Road 125. So a lot of those storm reports will be coming in here tonight. So we'll be checking those out. I'll be retweeting a lot of pictures and videos and stuff on YouTube. Or on Twitter, rather. Twitter. Reposting on Twitter. But I also will be keeping you updated on YouTube as well. I have a new video for you guys at 9 a.m. in the morning. Don't worry about that. I'll be having that out for you. Mainly focusing on tomorrow's threat. So it won't be like a normal video probably tomorrow. We're just going to focus mainly on tomorrow's threat. But we may put some longer range stuff in there. We'll see. Can we have 3 more subscribers tonight? We only need 3 more subscribers to get to 25,500. We only need 3 more people to hit that subscribe button that haven't already to get to 25,500, and just a handful of people to get to 250 thumbs up, likes on the channel for tonight's live stream. That is my goal. Let's see if we can get it here by 10 or by about 10:10 or 10:15 my time, Central Time. What to do if sirens go off while working with a place with customers in it? Well, sirens are usually not for people in buildings. So I would say if you hear the sirens, probably go into a basement of some sort, a storm structure, or a storm shelter. But just put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. And if you have any bicycle helmets, anything that could save your life technically. Just use it. It could be a mattress, it could be anything that you could put above your head and just put your body as low to the ground as possible, especially if you're in the path of that tornado. Whether you're in a business, your home, in a car, you just want to be safe. In a car, it's different though. Okay, in a car, it's different. Yes, he's going live, and I will be live with him tomorrow at 4 p.m. Brain Maves. Pow Ponder on Weather is going live tomorrow starting at 4 p.m. in the afternoon. Depending on what the models look like tonight, he may go live a little later, a little earlier, but it looks like right now he's shooting for about going live about 4 p.m. in the afternoon tomorrow. So 4 p.m. in the afternoon, Central Time, he'll be live. I'll be on there with him doing some storm reports and stuff like that. So that's where I'll be tomorrow. So if you're wondering and you're coming onto my channel and saying, well, why is this guy not going live? Well, I will be live, just not on my channel. I'll be going live on his channel tomorrow with him to do storm reports. Pow Ponder on Weather. Thank you, William Spann. It's been a while. Thanks for joining again. Appreciate it. Sounds like you've been busy lately. Just talking about some severe weather. Very interesting day tomorrow panning out. Some violent long track tornadoes across the tri state area of Arkansas, Mississippi, and Louisiana. The Ark-La-Miss area is in the moderate risk. And actually, we were just talking about earlier that we could have an upgrade to a high risk potentially tomorrow. Our first high risk in a while. We'll wait and see what the Storm Prediction Center decides to do. But here's the risk for tomorrow there, William Spann. You're right now, if you're in the Birmingham, Tuscaloosa region, you're in that slight risk for severe weather. That'll be overnight Friday into Saturday morning. But yeah, in the orange and red shaded colors, we have that significant hatched area for tornadoes. So we're talking about those EF2 to EF5 strength tornadoes here. And they also could be on the ground for a long period of time as well, and especially in the red shaded color here into the Ark-La-Miss region. So Jackson, Mississippi, Vicksburg, Greenville, Natchez, back here towards the Monroe, Louisiana area. We really have to be on high alert near I-20 for the potential of strong long track tornadoes, hurricane force wind gusts potentially, especially farther north toward the mid-Mississippi Valley there, toward like Memphis, Jackson, Tennessee, and Jonesboro, and then maybe some large hail up to 2 inch in diameter. Yep, there you go. William Spann, there you go. Correct advice there. Lay down as flat as possible in a bathtub, cover yourself as possible. That's especially if you don't have a basement or a storm shelter. Again, but you want to make sure the bathtub or the bathroom is in a centralized location here of your home. You don't want it to be next to an exterior wall necessarily. So, oh, you've been okay, you've been dealing with family problems. That's all right, man. No worries. You're about 60 miles east of Birmingham, so yeah, you're okay. So you're right on the line there between slight and marginal. So you're not necessarily in per se the tornado outbreak tomorrow. So that's good for you. But yeah, back here to the Ark-La-Miss area, yeah, we're looking at some pretty intense weather tomorrow. And like I was sharing with other people earlier, is that I think, again, I don't work for the Storm Prediction Center, but there is a possibility this moderate risk could kind of look like this tomorrow, potentially, and fill in up here toward Memphis. And if that occurs, then I could possibly see a small high risk here in toward the tri state area, with potentially a high risk in this area of southeastern portions of Arkansas, extreme northeastern Louisiana, and far western Mississippi there, toward the Natchez region, up toward Vicksburg and Greenville. So we'll wait and see what the Storm Prediction Center wants to do there. Thank you so much, Ashley. I had something in my eye, and now it's so painful and swollen after I had to scrape it out. Oh, well, hopefully you're all right, Ashley. We need 7 more likes to get to 250, and let's see what the latest subscriber count is. I'm trying to get to 25,500 at the end of the stream. We need one more person to subscribe. We're at 25,499 subscribers. One more person to hit the goal tonight for subscribers. And we'll be at 25,500. Right? Yeah, exactly, William. I have no idea. Right now I can just give you a time frame, David. Probably between about I would watch out between 2 p.m. tomorrow afternoon and about midnight. a long period of time, so about 10 hours there. So about 2 p.m. to midnight would be the prime time for severe weather. More so late afternoon, early evening. Towards the dinner time frame, it's going to get pretty bumpy there towards the Arklamis region, southeastern Arkansas, northeast Louisiana, and west central Mississippi, especially in that moderate risk area. We only have one severe thunderstorm warning remaining here, and that is across portions of southern Missouri here. So let's go back to the high reflectivity radar. And we still got that warning east of Springfield, still for the next 6 minutes, probably will expire. This is for 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. We'll see if they extend this. But again, we still have that severe thunderstorm watch until 11 o'clock this evening for southern Missouri, northwestern Arkansas, eastern portions of Oklahoma, and north Texas here until 11 o'clock for the next, hour or so. Less than an hour now. That's what my hope, William. My hope is to get to 30,000 by the end of April, if not May. So that would be great. When will Pow ponder on whether or not it'll be 4 o'clock? Right now he's thinking 4 o'clock Central Time, so 4 p.m. tomorrow afternoon. So that is currently what he's thinking. All right. Yeah, we got a bunch of special weather statements down here. What these are, just kind of noting that there's strong thunderstorms. We got one storm up here east of Wichita Falls in the Burke-Burnett area, right along the Red River. This is east of I-44. This is pushing toward the Ardmore region. Still pretty far to the west from Ardmore, but still pushing closer to your area there. Again, back toward the Duncan area in Oklahoma. These, this storm could, still re-strengthen. And then we've got some more storms firing up west of the Dallas-Fort Worth area, back toward Abilene here, back toward Seymour, west of Graham, into central Texas, or at least northwest Texas. Not much happening over here into eastern Oklahoma, northwestern Arkansas currently. So you're pretty dry here in Fort Smith, Fayetteville for the most part, maybe some sprinkles, some light showers there. As you get up toward Rogers, you might start to see some heavier downpours and storms, but really the heavy rain has been relentless over the Springfield area and getting up towards St. Louis here as well. If you live in St. Louis, we've had a lot of heavy rain. It's going to be raining in St. Louis for quite a while here. You can see that rainfall training over the same areas here, and that's why we have that flash flood, moderate risk for flash flooding up here going through the night tonight and throughout the day on Friday. Thank you so much, Ashley. Appreciate it. Need to subscribe to him so you can get a notification. There you go, man. Let's see here. I just went over the storm reports earlier. Thank you guys so much. We met our goal. We're at 25,502 subscribers. Thank you so much. Just need 2 more likes, guys. All right. 1 more like now. 1 more. Who's the person who's going to help us get to 250 tonight? Who's going to do it? Person in chat, whoever hits the 250 50th like, please make yourself aware in chat. Say I pressed the like button to get to 250. I appreciate it. Yeah, let's look at the heavy rain here in southern Illinois over the past hour. We've had a band of some heavy rain with that strong thunderstorm over the Fredericktown area with like 3/4 of an inch of rain up to over an inch of rain in some of these areas, approaching an inch and 3/4, an inch and a half there, south and west of Fredericktown. This is in southwestern Missouri over the past hour. So you can see these storms have had a history of producing 1 to 2 inches of rain per hour as they move through here. Southern Illinois, southern and southeastern Missouri up here, and even farther west in towards Oklahoma. Thank you so much. Was it you, William Span? Did you hit 250 for me? You just hit the like button just now. Who's the one who did it for me? Thank you so much, Sherry. Appreciate it. You are amazing. Thank you, Sherry, for helping me get to 250 likes. I appreciate it. You, Sherry to the rescue. Thank you so much. Again, if there's any questions, do you guys have any questions before I go off stream here this evening? Do you have any questions for me? I'm going to go back to the other radar because you can see the whole entire radar here besides just looking at a single radar site. So let me go back. Very well. These storms back into West Texas could strengthen. To be severe warned overnight while I'm not live. These will probably be producing some large hail here. Let's go over the outlook here for tonight. Let me turn off the severe thunderstorm watch real quick, actually. Let me look at this here. Let me turn that off. All right. Let's go over the risk here for the rest of tonight. Again, the Storm Prediction Center has that slight risk from southern Indiana, southern Illinois into portions here of southern Missouri, north and northwest Arkansas, eastern and southeastern Oklahoma, and then back into central Texas here. This does include the DFW Metroplex on westward here toward Abilene. That's through the rest of tonight. All right. Looking at the tornado threat for the rest of tonight, it does look like we have that 5% shading. 5% shading for tornadoes here into northwestern Arkansas, so from Fayetteville to Fort Smith, and then into southeastern Oklahoma and far north Texas, north of Denton toward the Red River there near I-35 up towards Sherman, Texas. We have a threat for tornadoes, even a lower chance of tornadoes, a 2% shading west of Fort Worth back there toward Abilene and San Angelo, and even Wichita Falls through the rest of this evening and into the overnight hours. And I wouldn't even be surprised for maybe a spin up tornado or two up toward like Cape Girardeau, the Paducah region, getting up into southeastern, Missouri, southern tip of Illinois there near the Carbondale area, Paducah, Kentucky, far western Kentucky. That's about it. So otherwise, it's going to be a heavy rainfall setup through the rest of tonight. We'll show you the hydrologic outlook. This is for the rest of tonight. You can see there's a moderate risk of flash flooding there hidden underneath where we're seeing the heavy rainfall now. And going into the day tomorrow on Friday, this moderate risk becomes a little bit more expansive. This is not a moderate risk for severe weather. This is a moderate risk for heavy rainfall going through the daytime tomorrow. So from the Chillicothe, Cincinnati area toward Dayton, Ohio, all the way back in towards central and northern Arkansas toward the Little Rock region. You want to be on high alert right along the Ohio River Valley back down there into the mid-Mississippi Valley for widespread flash flooding tomorrow. Yeah, I got you, William. Maybe, William. I saw your comment above. It's all good, Ashley. It's all good. Again, thanks for the donations. For the people who donated earlier, thanks to Layla and Kyle. Thank you so much for the $2 donations earlier. Much appreciated. Again, every little bit helps with this channel, so any donations is much appreciated here. Of course, donations are not expected, but of course, you guys can always donate if you would like to on this channel. Definitely helps out in a big way. All right. So before I go here this evening, I want to talk about the little bit of the long range and what we have coming after tomorrow. Okay, so we talked about today, we talked about tomorrow, and a little bit of Saturday. Let's talk about the little bit of the long range going into next week before I leave the live stream, because things are quieting down. We actually have no severe thunderstorm warnings anymore, so that is some great news. Just some heavy rainfall. So let's look at this. Let's go back to the GFS model here real quick. And let's look at what we could expect going in towards the time and towards next week. So let's look back here at this is the 500 millibar jet stream. This is the mid-level jet we look at here. This is good for looking at troughs and stuff like that. Of course, as we go into the day today on Friday, we're going to start to see more of that trough continue to push off to the east here. We're still going to have a decent dip in the jet stream out here across the west, so bringing some cooler weather down, something like that. We have that low pressure system developing that'll push up here to the north and east, but we have a lot of the cooler air back to the west that's going to be bringing us a lot of heavy snow across the Pacific Northwest and places like that. So the central northern Rockies and even the Sierra Nevadas here, northern California, we're going to see more heavy snowfall, more heavy rainfall going into this weekend, into early next week. And then going into the 26th time frame now. So now we're going into that Sunday time frame. We're going to start to see a little bit more of a flattening of the jet stream. So what we call zonal flow. And usually when you see kind of a flatter jet stream kind of like this, that means we have more of quiet weather expected. But you see a little bit of a ripple effect up here with the jet stream, something like that. You see kind of a little bit of a divot up here and towards the Aleutian Islands and off the Pacific Northwest coast. And that is our next game changer for next week, with another low pressure system developing that'll be diving down across the southern United States, getting in towards the early portion of next week. And looking at the temperatures first before we get into that, getting in toward this weekend, it's going to be pretty chilly. Again, we have more zonal flow, so what you see is what you get out here. You got more of the cooler weather across the north with the deep snowpack across the upper Midwest. We got the warmer weather to the south. Again, what you see is what you get. That's pretty much what we're seeing going into Sunday and Monday time frame. Going into next week there, into the Monday, Tuesday time frame here, we're going to start to see a little bit more of what we call return flow. We got to see some more southerly and southeasterly winds out ahead of this. We got that trough starting to dig down. You can see a little bit of a spiral there, low pressure system that's going to be diving down across the southwest going in towards the early portion of next week. It's going to be leading to more snow and heavy rainfall out west. We'll go back to the 500 millibar winds here. And you can see this is going to be a powerful low, okay? This is going to be a powerful low, probably off the northwest coast there of California by the time we get towards Tuesday, Wednesday time frame. That'll be, the jet stream will be kind of oriented like this. And then we have a little bit of a polar jet coming down as well. So that will be an interesting feature going in towards the middle of next week. And then beyond there, things get interesting. We reload the atmosphere again, and you see another concerning signal. Again, whenever you see the jet stream kind of like this as it moves across the United States this time of year, you start to wonder about severe weather. And let's try to put the pieces together. I know it's a little far out, but we're looking next week here. I know we have to get through today, the rest of tonight, tomorrow, and Saturday. But you see, we start to see a lot more snow out here to the west, and we're going to look at the temperatures now, and you see we're going to start to warm up a little bit, okay? We're going to start to warm up. The warm sector is going to deepen, potentially as far north as Kansas here, at least what it shows now. Maybe another boundary setting up very similarly to what we have now. Not to say we'll have flash flooding, but we'll continue to watch that. Going in toward the middle of next week. We turn over to the dew points now, because this is also important for the moisture content here. And the instability needed. We have a little bit of that. We have a little bit of a dry line potentially setting up again, maybe a warm front up here into the lower Missouri Valley and the Ohio Valley. In this area, again, we'll have to watch during that Thursday time frame for more severe weather as we head in towards next week. That's the 30th time frame. This is Thursday about 7 a.m. Let's go later in the day here. This is about 7 p.m. on Thursday, and you can see that warm sector potentially, and again, this could change and probably will, could reach portions of central Illinois and then portions of the central Great Plains. Maybe a classic dry line type of setup next week across the central and southern plains here, according to the GFS. We're going to be pulling all the warmer temperatures up to the north. Temperatures will be in the 70s and 80s out here. We have the drought, so it's going to be a lot easier for us to warm up across portions of the central and southern plains. Then we go back here to the mid-level winds, and you see this is concerning again. This is, again, whenever you see the dew points temperatures getting that warm and a trough with something like this, it may be more amplified, and we'll have a low pressure system, something like that. It'll be moving north and east, and in this area, we're going to start to see more severe weather going in towards that Thursday time frame. Now, a week from now, again, this is far out, but this is as far as I'm going. We're going into next Friday to end the month of March. And look at how powerful the jet stream gets. Okay, this is the new GFS run, and look at how powerful this jet stream gets going in towards that Friday time frame. All right, so we have to look at the temperatures again going to this time frame, and look at, we have a big surge of warmth, potentially some upper 60s going all the way up into the Ohio Valley as we head in towards that Friday time frame. So that would be interesting. And dew points going all the way up here into the 60s and even upper 50s as far north as potentially the Ohio Valley and Detroit. So if you live in Indiana, Ohio, Kentucky up here, southern Michigan potentially, I would be on the lookout for severe weather if you live in Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, or southern Michigan getting in toward next Friday time frame. We'll be watching that very, very closely. Then, again, we always look at the low-level jet. We could have another outbreak. We could have another outbreak of severe weather late next week. Details are still to be determined, but it looks like there's a lot of overlap with that. You got the strong mid-level jet coming in here, and then you got a low-level jet coming in as well, some turning of the winds with height, and that is what we need for severe weather. All right, so that is what we are seeing going in towards next week. And then we could do it all over again into early April, because you see back to the west, another storm trying to move in across the Pacific Northwest during the first week into April. So again, breathe a sigh of relief, everybody. It's going to be very busy in the weather department over the next 7 to 10 days and probably beyond to early April. Stick with us here, each and every one of us on our YouTube channels. You guys can have weather radios to get multiple ways to receive weather watches, advisories, warnings, the whole 9 yards. Rely on your smartphones, laptops, tablets, the TV, anything like that. Your local meteorologist definitely will help you out throughout the rest of these events moving forward. Thank you so much, William Spann. Everybody give William Spann a nice round of applause in the live stream chat. Thank you so much for your generous $10. I definitely appreciate it. Definitely goes a long way in supporting this channel. Thank you so much, William. Long time supporter of Weather on the Go, so I definitely appreciate it, man. Thank you so much, Tsunami Tommy. I appreciate you being here. I have family in Wisconsin, Rain Maves. All right, well, thank you so much. Thank you, Ashley Leith. Thank you so much for modding my chat today. I appreciate that, and I look forward to that in the future. Again, tomorrow I will be going live with Pow Ponder on Weather starting mid-afternoon, about 4 o'clock p.m. Central Daylight Time with Pow Ponder on Weather. I will not be doing a live on my channel tomorrow, at least early on in the event. I may end up going live later on tomorrow night and into the overnight hours. I'll have to wait and see on that. Otherwise, I will see you guys in the video, maybe a live stream on Saturday if we have a severe weather upgrade across the southeast. If we have that, I may go live there. So thank you guys so much for joining. I will definitely be going live more often to, again, we have a very active weather pattern going into early April. It's severe weather season. Buckle up, everybody. Buckle up, because it's going to be a very bumpy ride tomorrow and moving forward in towards early April, all right? Severe weather season's here, and it's here to stay for a while. So everybody stay safe out there tomorrow, and I will see you guys in the video tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Thanks for joining. Much appreciated. Good night, everybody.